That's my hair.
Excellent.
Hey, we are live with Bangin Beers podcast. The mic's turned on, sure. All right. Here with Bad Maggie.
What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
So you guys, I do love the local music scene. I love everybody, but I think supportive wise, you guys have had our backs for a long time. So that's why we have a special gift for you guys. We have these awesome T-shirts. We got Bangin Beers with Bad Maggie T-shirts. So and another cool thing about the band that I'm really fortunate with you guys before we get into everything is I started a job at Empire, and when I first got there, it was like it was very like people in their little circles. This person didn't talk to this person, and that's not me at all. I'm like a social butterfly. Like, let's all get along. And the one night I was like, hey, let's all go out and just enjoy ourselves and go see a band. And they're like, well, where are we going to go? And I was like, oh, well, there's a band. I've seen you guys previously. And then I was like, well, there's a really cool band that I like playing at the Roundhouse. And I brought all my coworkers out. And then now it's like every other week, or if it falls on a week where they can all do it, we always try to do like a Saturday, because Fridays are tough because we work the next day. But we have done it. And we all go to work like, fuck Bad Maggie.
That's why we started the channel.
That's a current trend.
But that, like, the Bad Maggie.
Thank you, Lars.
The Bad Maggie band has been our coworkers' bonding thing. Like,
That's cool.
Your band has been been
guys
like,
are always like
we're breaking
right
down
up
walls.
yeah,
I know,
well,
that's awesome.
that's my thing. Like,
Good
if you're
time.
gonna go see a band, get up front.
Yeah,
but
Absolutely.
so like it's kind of like the Bad Maggie has always been like our kind of thing that we always have in common. We can enjoy.
Yes. Proud to
it's
be a
like
part of
that, and
it.
it's always that first set is always like until the alcohol starts hitting, but there's always you and the Empire crew right up in front trying to get everybody up there.
Yeah,
That makes it.
Yeah.
At the first time they thought I got yelled at by them all the next day. They're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You kept taking the fucking mic," because I was smoked. I was smoked.
Yeah.
But like, I remember taking,
Such a blast.
I remember taking the mic, like, everyone move the fuck up. Like, stop being. Oh, you can curse there too. But
Oh, nice.
and
Thank
stop
God.
being so far away. Like, you're paying, especially if you're paying cover. Get up there and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was the night you
He
drank
said the
the
same thing.
fireball off the tray, wasn't it?
Oh,
I didn't even see
Good
it,
nights.
but hearing about it.
That was gross.
Shots with the band.
Like after I did it,
gross no matter what you're
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
after I did it, I immediately was like, I'm gonna throw up. Because I like all over,
idea.
and it was all over my chest. It was all down my arms. Because I didn't hold the tray. The girl, it was like a truss pour.
Oh God.
And it was everywhere. And then my friend Cassie, I was like, Cassie, I love you. And I gave her a hug, and she thought I was being nice, but I was literally just rubbing the fireball. So
That,
Now she
but
knows.
that smelled good the next morning.
yeah, so that was.
And the front
No
stage was
regret.
basically like fly paper. You're like you're pulling your feet up.
Oh yeah. Oh
we were all
yeah.
doing the jump
My
songs.
shoes on
And,
the Your shoes are sticking to the ground.
it was like a porn theater. But yeah. All right, so all of our beers today are from Oliver Brewing Company, except one we added. The band brought one. Impending Storm. I didn't look at the brewery. Bonesaw. Oh, the Bonesaw. You got 3 minutes.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, baby.
Yeah, that's a wrestling Spider-Man reference. That's a lot of good stuff in there. But yeah, I got all the beers here from this series from the Keg Stand in Monty City. We were just talking about Brett. He's actually friends. So it's like another cool little Bad Maggie bond there. But
Yeah, it's just like $5.
yeah, Brett is awesome,
Shout
and
out.
and the craft beer selection in that place is awesome. You can buy them warm or cold. And like I said, if there's something you're looking for, he will try to find it for you, and he works really hard to get you that. So that's one of our go-to spots, on top of the trading that Ben does. So Ben gets a lot of cool trades where he gets beers from here that people from other states really want, and then there's a whole process that we can't get into. May or may not be legit. But yeah, we get beers from all over the place, so we have a lot of fun with that. So sometimes we get some pretty rare beers, which is fun. But yeah, so we got them all, and let's open the first one. And this one is called Merlin the Wizard.
Merlin the Wizard. Shout out to Brett. Keg stand.
I brought a glass.
I'm gonna go very light pour first, just so it makes its way around. Do any of you have Untapped?
I do.
What's your name on there? So if people
I'd
are
have to look
watching,
it up.
they can add you.
So you were telling me to use that yesterday. I'm like an old person. I don't know how to use any of that.
No.
shit.
What were some of your?
I used to have it.
what were some of your favorite beers yesterday?
So my dumbass just forgot. 5 o'clock rolled around. I saw people starting to get up on the stage, and I realized I never even voted. Like I didn't put my cap in anything, but I probably would have went with Wolf because they were like I said, I heard him talking about it on Dave's Facebook.
Yeah. So
And
Wolf,
I went and tried the key lime one, and I mean through the entire thing, nothing really. I don't know, just left.
so if you want to add JDEEM 22 on tap, that's James's on tap. You can be his untapped friend.
Because drummers are cool, I guess.
Yeah. We're just gonna do this real quick so we can get both of us. So are you guys doing the same thing? All right,
Yeah.
we'll get you from 2 angles.
All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
All right.
Get
So
all set up here.
yeah, so I voted for Wolf strictly because I would have 100% went when who would have won. So that I'm not upset by that winning at all because Tattered Flag I thought had the tastiest beer of the day.
the
was
blueberry one.
The blueberry.
Yeah.
That was and it was a sour, but to me I don't like sours.
I
But
love them.
that wasn't very sour to me.
No,
It was more like a juice. It was delicious. Like, it was like blueberry crumbs and like you got everything in that beer. It was awesome. And Tattered, and then the Wolf next door was another sour. So I was like, all right, I don't like sour. And they're like, it's key lime, and I'm like, I'm gonna hate this. And it's awkward because like you're looking at them right in the eyes, and you drink their beer and they're just staring at you.
Waiting for.
Yeah, I always walk
response.
away.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I'm always out.
So it's like I put my heart and soul in this, and you're like, good. No, but so that was my fear. When I took a sip, I was like, I'm gonna fucking hate this, and I'm staring them right, and I'm like, hey, I'm part of a podcast, we should work together. And then so I tried it, and I was like, oh my god. And I was with Dave Martin, who is normally on the same level with me with sours, and he even was like, wow. And I was like, I'll be honest with you, everything about this flavor profile and type of beer, I would hate. So I voted for them just because they gave me everything I didn't think I was going to like and made me enjoy it. So that was where my vote went. But I would have definitely went with Tattered Flag as well.
So did you think it was really sour though? Because when they poured it to me, they're like, "Oh, it's a sour beer, but it doesn't, it's not really that sour." I tasted it. I was like, "This is pretty sour." Like
See,
I'm into that kind of thing, but to me, it was pretty sour.
Maybe because Ben is like the godfather of Hudson Valley, and Hudson Valley sours is like warheads.
Yeah.
Like some of those.
They're not that bad.
I mean, if
Like,
you want
to,
yeah, they're up there. Like, so Ben has brought some sours on the show that to me it's like a challenge. It's like, like as soon as the beer hits my mouth, like this gland, they lock up my jaw, my eyes.
Sour Monkeys, the Victory one's always the one that I kind of base it off of because that, like, to me, it's just like really sour. So it's either more sour or less sour than Sour Monkey. That one I thought it was pretty a little more
So
sour than
my
that.
palate is getting better with sours.
You have been getting really good.
Yeah,
with sour.
I still the coffee thing. So darker beers, I get that coffee taste, and I hate it.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
I actually like
That's good
That's
stuff.
easy.
Yeah,
I do like
Oh,
that.
I just don't like the taste of coffee.
We're gonna break them down.
All right, the one thing that Matt Maggie and you don't agree on
It
is
will never
coffee flavor
change.
beer.
It will never change my coffee hatred. Never.
I like coffee.
We'll get
but
them, don't
I hate
worry.
Coffee beers.
Really?
I'm like the
not really a
opposite.
big fan.
I hate when they're like,
Yeah.
it's chocolate with caramel and peaches and cherries, and I'm like, oh cool, I'm chewing coffee. I get none of that. But it all depends what they make it with, like if they put a roast in it or not. And I had 2 stouts there that a few stouts yesterday, and I was like, if it's coffee, I'm gonna hate it. And they're like, there's no coffee in this at all. And I was like, I'm telling you right now, if I make a face, it's not you, it's me. The Samoa beer, the Samoa cookie ones,
I tried that.
I thought it was really good.
It might have been in
That
my
sounds
top
good.
5, but it wasn't quite up there.
Yeah.
I'm not really a huge fan of Samoas though, so
Yeah.
that's not. I'm like the only person that
The
doesn't like
Kickstart My Heart beer was awesome too.
Oh, Kickstart My
That-
Heart by
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was up there for
I think that was
for my
second.
chip.
I had trouble keeping it all. That's why I came with you guys. I was like, "Do you guys have a pen or something?" Like, I can't keep track of all this stuff.
Hey, that's why you got to get on tap.
I
Track
know.
it all.
So what do you think of the Wizard here?
I like it.
I was just
That
gonna
was
ask, what did we just drink again?
Yeah,
That was awesome.
That was
Yeah.
really
That's good.
tasty. I wish I had more to pass around, but I try not to. So when we first started the show, it was out of control. We'd had like especially if there was like 5 people, we'd have like 35 beers on the table.
Oh, yeah.
and everyone would be leaving. And then I was like, we sat back and I was thinking, I was like, for liability reasons, if I sat with someone on the show and I poured 35 beers down their throat
Yeah.
and something were to happen or something, like I just don't want that on my soul.
Yeah.
So this is more or less just like, let's try some beers, get them out there for people, but then also let's learn about who's on the show. So I kind of turned it into like a secret interviews with everyday
Yes.
people.
Nice.
With beer.
Yeah, with beer. Because then a lot of people are like, I really want to be on interviews with everyday people, but I don't have a really sad story. I'm like, they don't always have to be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who wants to tell their story right now. And that's kind of it's kind of going in waves. So I got like struggle stories at first, and now it's like a huge band wave, and then we're slowly getting into like other stuff. So
Yeah,
it comes and
cool.
goes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shown the range, and I'm learning different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got something to say. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just cool hearing other people's stories
Mhm.
and just hearing how people deal with different challenges.
Did you guys hear the new one yet with Courtney Smith?
I didn't yet.
That was
I
so
didn't
much
even
fun.
watch
that one.
It's really long though. Like that's like Joe Rogan territory.
Yeah.
That was like, it was like 3.5 hours. That was the record was my dad's interview. That was like 2.5, almost 3. Courtney smashed it. But we finished and I was like, I can't believe it. It didn't feel like it was that long. It
Really?
was really fun. Yeah. It was
That's good though.
it was like we learned a lot
Nice,
about
nice.
each other, and then it went on weird tangents. Like so the t-shirt thing. Did you see the NASA shirt
Mhm.
that we were saying we're
Oh,
giving
yeah.
away? Do you know where that came from? The idea of that shirt. So if you watch Joe Rogan, he had Alex Jones on his show,
Oh god.
and if you see all those
Oh,
memes
God.
and videos of Alex Jones freaking out,
Yeah.
and he's wearing that shirt.
Oh, okay.
So when I met Courtney the first time, we were one of those things where we were Facebook friends, but when we seen each other in public, we didn't talk, which I want to ruin that stigma too. Like
Yeah.
if you add somebody on Facebook and you see them, say hi.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Don't
Even
do
if you're
that.
creeping, I'll still say hi to you. But yeah, so like we talked for the first time, and she's like, I want to be the Alex Jones to your Joe Rogan. And then she's like, and I was like, you already got booked. Let's get a date.
Yeah.
Right. And then I found out a lot about her before. Like I try not to find too much about the person before I sit down and talk to them. I try to let it come
Yeah.
naturally. But yeah, it was so much fun.
Absolutely.
All right, so before we get into the next one here, so overall, everyone, you enjoyed the.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good
really
one.
I
Yeah.
really like that one too. I didn't look at anything else on it.
Time
So,
to
Rate it.
Well,
fucked up.
with Nelson Savan and Simcoe Hop.
Thank you. I actually gave that a 4. I really like that. That's an all-day beer for me. So I
Yeah.
I like the term. I use the term a lot. All-day beers. So that's like if like there's a wrestling pay-per-view on or like a UFC fight, and I can get like a case of beer or a case of one style of beer, and I can drink that all day long and have a really good time. That's one that I would definitely. This is like
Yeah.
you can have these all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the ones where you're gonna forget lyrics in the third set.
yeah.
After 6
Yeah, I'm
beers.
wondering.
Shout out to Brett who got me black.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember.
That
it up or
was a
anything.
good one. That was a pine tree. I think.
Oh man. Yeah.
I listened. It happened.
Good time.
All I remember is you,
Black.
all I remember,
We had halfway through the second set, he starts coming up with like fistful of shots at a time. He's like, "Here you guys go! Oh yeah, shots every
Yeah.
other song."
But you have 5 people amongst you. It's like I've watched the boys upstairs with 2 people drink just as many shots as you used to.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
How are they
More than
alive?
Hey,
I used to hide
Experience.
shots. Like I used to hide them on them. But people were like, "We got to trade." I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm their manager." And they'd be like, "Cool," and they'd be like, "Just like whoop," and I'd be
don't
like,
forget the lyrics.
like how you guys are like, everyone have shots. I was like,
Yeah.
here, have shots on the boys.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, did they get your shots? And then I'd walk up to them and be like, just act like you're taking this shot because you're already fucking smushed. Like, they'd be like, thank you so much. They're trying to slow themselves down on that because Steve's going to be a papa soon. So,
Oh,
yeah.
congratulations!
We-
Shout out to
I
Mr.
haven't
Fulton.
watched it yet, but I heard about the infamous interviews. Was it Bangin? Oh,
it was the Bangin' Beers. It was the
Oh,
I
first.
didn't
yeah,
watch
that's
it yet,
the
but
view.
that's another
It was
one
the
on my list.
first Bangin' Beers episode was the boys upstairs.
That was fun. I
Done,
liked
done,
watching
Yeah, I
that.
remember watching
That
that.
was a good one.
Yeah, so Steve brought a banjo
Yeah.
and we
Well,
drank.
Why- 'cause why not?
The best
Why
start
not?
to any
Why not?
podcast ever.
And Steve, he played songs in between things. So like, and then all the beers were in brown paper bags because they were all disgusting malt liquors.
Oh, geez.
So we had Hurricane, Colt 45,
Oh,
Steel
no.
Reserved, Mickey's. We had a bunch of like just awful.
Gotta ring your bell though.
Gotta get the Mickey's.
Yeah.
Ring
Right.
that bell.
Ring the bell.
And then we ended it with a Mad Dog 2020 Orange Julius.
Oh,
Needless to say, all of our stomachs were destroyed.
I can't imagine why.
For a couple of days. What do you mean?
Yeah,
mine
couple
were
days.
like
I think you were
mine's like
just talking
two-
about
third day. I was like I hit the peak and then I leveled off. I'm all
It
right.
was horrible. It was
Yeah.
it was a bad experience.
That's bad.
But yeah, that was a fun one. That was our first band one. But yeah, that was a good time. And Steve played. He just seemed out of control. But they're just, even if they're not drunk, they're a fun time. All right. So what do we have here? This
Oh,
is
yeah.
the.
Yeah, we got.
That worked out very well among
This-
7 guys.
That
This
way
is,
was-
this is the pagan. I like the name of that.
That
I like
was
pagan
sweet.
All right, trying to.
stuff. So
pay.
how did
These are the coolest cans, though, by the way.
I have a collection of cans, and then I'm just like stashing them up there until I find somewhere I can put them up. But I have like these are definitely gonna go in the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bonesaw got their stuff together, man. Sure, that's good too.
I'm trying to figure out how to get like the stuff to fill up the empty cans to make them solid. So then if you drop them, you
It's
don't
not
like,
gonna get,
like
like,
really
smashed
dense
or
cans.
something.
So here's the cool thing. The first beer we had, would you consider that strong? It had a hoppier taste, but it was very smooth.
Yeah.
It was a 9% beer.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, that would
Really?
ruin your day after sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one
All
maybe
day
not.
beer.
That's what he says in every day. Not anymore.
Now,
I think we should try to session it.
Yeah, all Untapped. This is saying as 8.5, but the can says 9. So these are all, I think, these are all the 9. These are all 9% beers. And that first
This
was
one,
we
this
go.
one definitely tastes a little stronger, but
Does it?
I would
It's
never expect
like
the
a
first
boozier
one to be
taste?
9. Yeah, it's a little,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
like
little
this one a lot,
hoppy.
I
I,
think actually.
Yeah.
smoother.
Uh,
Though. I do like this one.
thought the first one was smooth.
All right, so here's our first band question now. So how did Bad Maggie come about?
Years and years of trial and error.
So I kind of know a little bit of something because Tyler's my band buddy.
Yeah.
So when
Okay.
we go see band shows, I kind of like pick his brain a little bit.
Let's start with what you
It
know.
starts with it starts with them too.
So I know, yeah, that's how I found out. So used to were in bands together.
Yeah.
And that's where the trial and error thing comes in.
Yeah. Essentially, I mean, in high school, we got together with one other guy. We were a 3-piece. We started with the name Never Shout Maggie, and everybody in the band kind of had a word to do with the name. Like Maggie came from, I worked at Maggie's Kitchen in West Bend Township. He was never gonna date this specific girl again. And our drummer was a wild man. So he would just like shout and go crazy all the time. So
Reincarnation of Sid Barrett,
I think
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting it.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deep cut there. I don't know.
Shine on that crazy diamond.
He's a crazy diamond.
So
But yeah, that's
so
how
and then it became we joined Shane.
we had a little bit of a lineup change, different drummer. We picked up another guitarist, so we grew to a 5-piece.
So you weren't the drummer of these bands.
No, I was a guitar
Yeah, he was
player.
a
all
guitar
of these
player. I
bands.
never knew he played drums until on practice.
Neither did I.
I was like, oh
Because
damn.
every time
But-
I think when I say Bad Maggie, I think one of the first things they say is they say your name and they say and they're like, well, who plays guitar? And I say your names. They're like, what the fuck does James do? I'm like, he's the drummer. Like he's a phenomenal guitar player.
No, but I mean, it was kind of not too bad for me because when we were in the second band, when we changed the lineup and we changed our name to Bad Weekend, so that's where the bad comes into play. We kind of mashed them together to make Bad Maggie now.
And
But-
the curse of Bad Weekend.
Yes,
happened.
Yeah.
To each
curse.
one of us slowly and individually and over time.
yes, absolutely. But I mean, during Bad Weekend, I did switch out. Keith Genscher was our drummer at the time, and I'd switch out with him for a couple songs in one of our sets. So I got a little bit assimilated with drums then, so it wasn't like totally going in blind. But I
Mhm.
mean, you start learning 50, 60 songs, you're like, wow, it takes a little bit of effort,
Yeah.
especially when it's not your comfortable instrument.
So most of you all come from the Tamaqua area, right?
yeah,
Except
Yeah.
you're a Pottsville
Pottsville,
kid, yeah.
yeah.
Now, this is something I'm kind of putting a correlation together, and this could just be my crazy Alex Jones brain, trying to draw. Like I'm Charlie in like the mailroom. I'm Charlie in the mailroom, like I figured out the formula. But yeah, so what I've come to realize is there's the talent of these bands in this local area. They're stemming from mostly 2 areas, and it's Tamaqua and Pottsville. Now, what I attribute that to is I feel like if there's any county schools that really take their music program seriously,
Yeah.
it's Tamaqua and Pottsville.
That's true.
And not only like now there's traditional style bands, like Monte Area is a very traditional band, but if you're in the band of Monte Area, it's not like it's like the cool thing to do, where the other schools are kind of like they accept their band.
Yeah.
I remember playing football, and I remember Tamaqua had more people in the band than both football teams' entire rosters on the
Yeah.
field.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember
Tamaqua was-
Yeah, they do
warming
a
up,
good job.
warming
Red
up,
Hots.
and the band comes out of the school and comes down that giant hill, and they were in the bleachers, like going up
Taking
in the
their seats
bleachers,
before they're done coming out of the
and
building.
they're still coming out of the. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like, how do you
Yeah,
make
there's
money?
like 250 people in the
How do you
band.
make money on ticket sales? Because half your bleachers are the school band.
Yeah, there's one whole section.
Like I'd be charging these like, every kid bring $2 because you're bankrupt in our football game. But yeah, so it just really shows the music talent in our area, and it shows like if you really want to give a nod to public education and maybe even music teachers in those areas. A lot of this younger talent is coming out of the music programs of high schools that take it very seriously.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Actually, the
Do you-
only of my other 3 siblings that isn't in or hasn't participated in the school band.
Yeah,
So my older sister and then my 2 little sisters, they just had their concert.
you
It's
come from a
actually
very
cool.
musical family.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But shout out to them because that was really cool.
Yeah,
You would think, oh god, we're gonna sit through like an orchestra.
Yeah, school band kind of thing.
yeah.
And
They
you play
played
football?
some cool. They like the jazz band stuff. They rocked out some interesting new songs. So
I think Tamako had that when we were in school a little bit too. They would play around with doing some like pop songs and stuff, some new modern
That's-
era
that's
stuff.
all
And I
bells.
think that's
Yeah.
what
he's doing
has
great.
kids like, oh, I want to be band. Like if like I'm sure if the band director of a Pottsville school and there's a kid who like, I want to kind of learn band because there's cool like I think if more people hear this, like if the younger crowd is listening to these interviews and they're fans of Bad Maggie or Mahatongo or Crowbot or all these like bands that are making it out of the area and they're like, oh, they were in the band growing up.
Yeah.
That's not as lame because now look at them and like I like going to see them and you could be a cool musician and that's the start of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people they used to pick on wrestling in high school, like, oh, you wear a singlet and roll around with a guy. But I'm spending $4,000 a year on UFC pay-per-views and that's the basis to UFC.
Yeah.
It's kind of like looking back at it, like you play the trombone, you're never gonna get laid. Now fucking
I would love to have a trombone player.
they're shredding a guitar, like guess where I started, bitch. I'll
Playing
take your
trombone.
girlfriend now.
Oh yeah.
Trumpet paid off.
Yeah.
Finally.
Who's a band nerd now? You're buying my merch.
No, but it's true though. I mean, the arts, and it's a shame to see there's a lot of schools that are losing the arts. They can't afford to fund it. And over the years, I know when we were going through school, there was a lot of loss to the arts programs and stuff, and they took away shop class and like different things.
It's a shame.
And it's a shame
Yeah, it
because
is.
it makes it that much harder for kids to get that kind of opportunity
And
to find out, that they're right or left brain kind of thing.
And ironically enough, we need some trades even then too. It's
Yeah.
like we're pushing these bachelor's degrees and all that.
Exactly.
I mean, nothing wrong with that, but the point being though, should be focused on trades like carpentry and all this
Yeah.
other stuff.
I mean,
They need to
college
know
isn't
that
for
stuff.
everybody.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah.
I need that.
We had our first chat.
Whoa.
Hey guys, looking good. We'll take any leftovers. Love Bad Maggie.
And it's from Joe and Deb.
Oh,
What's
God.
What's up, Mama Smart? What's up, Mama Smart?
My mom, we know that.
Mom and
That's
Dad.
I'm his favorite musician.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
That's
Kevin's
my
the
new
favorite
dad.
musician.
But that's favorite
Look,
musician.
it's the movies. You're the musician guy. That's the
At the
favorite.
Heighton show we were just at, the whole time we were playing, he was going, Kevin, you're my favorite musician.
Love this
I'd look
guitar
over
player,
there.
like
I'd look over
musician.
at them.
I remember that. We're crying in the corner.
God doesn't love us.
We tried so hard.
Yeah. So what gravitated me to you guys? I remember we went to a show. I forget what it was, but I remember I think two most of you were wearing wrestling t-shirts, and I was like, oh my god, they're wrestling nerds. And then I think I shouted like, play like a, and you guys start playing like in between songs, and I was like, and then we started talking. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, took a whole other level. Yeah, then, like, that's like our band thing. Like I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Yeah, let's get to the next beer here. So this is my favorite of the cans. This is like a cool skull taking some love for some lady.
Medieval dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called the Crown of Lies.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ben,
Man, you're horrible today.
I have no nails.
I don't either. I just got mine today.
You got those crazy Coke fingernails.
I do not have coke.
Yeah, something tells me that these guys that make this beer are also musicians. We're
Yeah.
flicking right now.
That's what I
By the
thought.
time it gets bad,
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. I thought when I seen these cans, I'm like, these are pretty. I was actually gonna do these cans with.
Long live rock and roll
was
inside
the
the can. Maybe they
Was
are.
that Merlin? I don't know.
Yeah, long live rock and
I don't
roll.
know who they are, but
I was actually gonna do these
Sweet.
with Faith and Exile, but they brought a lot of beers themselves.
Okay.
So we did a lot of their beers, and then we added some stuff.
Thank
in.
you, Faith and Exile.
I wasn't sure of protocol.
Yeah, we had quite an eclectic mix on that one then too.
The artwork's phenomenal on these cans.
Yeah,
too.
that's
Oh
my favorite
God,
thing.
wow.
Badass tattoo.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Speaking
So-
of which, that
Gotta
Faith
put
and
that up to the
Exile
camera
show
so
at
Awesome.
Strikers when they got
the
that
crowd
was
can see it a
awesome.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
I was
that was a
mainly,
cool
I
show.
honestly, I wasn't like, back when I was a kid, I wasn't really into the local music scene.
Mhm.
I was just playing music in my room. So I that's the first time I ever saw them. I didn't even know really what they played, but basically I was there to see Look Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were pretty awesome too. And it was packed. And that's awesome.
I love Look Alive. They're cool dudes, and
Oh,
I
absolutely.
like their creativity with their stuff. And then we said like musician wise.
Oh, they're
They're nuts.
awesome. They're good.
Oh my
The
god,
songwriting
they're so
is, like,
good.
insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The only thing is, it's tough. Maybe it's just me, the PA thing, but it's hard to hear vocals sometimes with them.
I think that's what was good about. Were you at the?
Yeah.
That's a hard
That was
all
the good
around
thing
local
about
scene
that.
kind of thing to do.
Because they
I
actually
feel like
had finally had like professional sound
Yeah.
to do it.
So
So
that was the only thing is they do have good vocals, but it's hard to hear what the vocals are sometimes.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get good.
It's
Yeah,
a-
we found
Yeah,
we
so
found that it takes
we
years
know
to figure
that.
out how to run the sound the
Yeah,
right
we
way.
know
I'm still
that.
figuring it
Tough.
out.
Such a-
We're still
yeah.
working on
Yeah.
it.
It's a
yeah.
not
Yeah.
only is he just learning drums on the go,
He's
but he's
learning
also
music.
our sound guy. So yeah,
The sound guy.
reach
Yeah.
over to the
Yeah,
sound.
from the
sound.
And,
That's
you
tough.
know, of course, I'm always complaining to him about my monitor and my microphone. So he's always on it.
I'm all over the place.
He's
I don't know
Yeah, he's
anything
like a
about
drum-
I
music
can
except
imagine
how
him
to
like,
play
oh
it.
man,
So
hi hat part. Taking it, hi hat. All right.
So he's
Not to do too
actually
much.
he's running sound while he's drumming, and you're running lights.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. There's a little remote. And you're like,
Yep. Remote the foot switch.
yeah.
The regulars, Lars, or my wife, nobody wants to take that on.
I did it one
It's
show.
a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right.
yes.
One show, he's like,
Yeah,
"All
when the
right,
song
get
kicked
this
in,
Oh
you
yeah.
just-
We're gonna play here's my hero, and when the like the drum part comes in, you hit it, and I was like, got you. And I hit it,
Gotcha, fam.
I was like, killed it. I'm a light guy now.
Yeah.
My resume.
Well, we found a new light tech. There you go.
So guys,
Run
I
the
know
DMX
that you
rigs.
do like 90s and early 2000s covers because Tony has high regard with you. Yeah, I'm going Schuylkill County.
We use guys.
These guys.
Yeah.
guys.
Did you guys ever hear of a band called Polaris at all? They're the Adventures of Pete and Pete band.
No, I don't know that I've ever
You
heard
gotta
the
listen to
name.
those
No.
guys. They
Ah,
do that.
absolutely.
I'm liking
Yeah,
this.
listen to them. They
Yeah,
have a whole
Polaris.
album that they do all the music for the Pete and Pete episodes. I
No.
think it might be right up your alley if you want something a little.
When Pete
Wow. Cool.
when Pete and Pete came on Nickelodeon, I was like, turned it off. I swear to God, I didn't like it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was-
Pete and Pete and this is really controversial too. Salute your shorts.
See, I wasn't really
Right,
into that.
right,
either.
yeah.
I don't think
Everybody
I've ever-
talks about that.
yeah.
I just never
Turn
really.
it right off.
Maybe.
It was not my thing. Or what was like the news? Remember, like at the night, like this is Nickelodeon news, and you had that really old, like a middle
Nick
aged lady.
News,
Nick
Linda Ellerby.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
an
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
it wasn't Cartoon Network time.
Time to switch.
I mean, it was cool for Nickelodeon to try like
Yeah, try
do
something like
news
that.
for
Yeah.
kids, but I mean, at that time,
is.
like you're like,
I didn't want,
Yeah, you're like,
didn't want
I don't
anything
give
to
a
do
shit.
with
I thought-
it.
I didn't care what was happening in the news.
I
I just
still
wanted to
don't
watch
watch
Rock.
it.
I wanted to watch
Where's-
Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Isn't that coming to Netflix? Didn't he Hey Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocco and Invader Zim
Cool.
are going to be are
That's
all
awesome.
by
I
Netflix.
forgot all
I
about
just
I,
saw
I want to
it
see
today.
Earthworm
that.
Jim
Was
make
like
a comeback.
creepy
They're
as a
making a
kid.
Urban Gym game too.
Are you serious?
I love Cowardly.
And
yeah.
another
Courage the
another
Cowardly
cool
Dog.
thing.
That was another one that got like really
Yeah,
little
it was like so
creepy
creepy
at
though.
times,
It's just
too.
like, Courage the Cowardly it's like- Dog was
that's-
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
awesome
that's
though.
some- yeah, that's one of my It favorites. was so weird.
So
Yeah.
I feel like
You are
Courage the
back.
Cowardly Dog is my dog. Like she like I try to put my like even with people like oh my god sometimes people like I get frustrated and I'm like I have to put myself in their head because not everyone's the same and then I kind of do it with my dog and because it may be weird and I don't do drugs I'm just putting that out there just drink but I just think myself like she's probably Courage she probably like someone strange walks in the house and she visualizes them as like a giant monster gets here.
It's like
The killer
floating
family,
weird,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, like or we're not home. We're
The
when
weird
she's home
horror.
alone. Like you know how your voice gets hoarse, like screaming. Like we come home and she's like, "Arr!" And, like she can't handle crying and barking anymore. She's like her separation anxiety is so bad, and I feel terrible like when we have to go out and do stuff. But I'm like that's probably her life. Her whole
Yeah.
life is probably Courage the Cowardly Dog. And
Yeah,
and
pretty
we're just
much.
like, just shut up! You're freaking out. I'm like, oh, I'm old man.
Yeah.
and my wife is like the ground. Oh, everything's okay.
Watch TV, damn it.
That was a freaky show.
But
I
say-
loved it though.
But saying about Earthworm Jim, to come back to you,
Yeah.
Iam8bit.com is coming out with a anniversary edition with Interplay, and they're having 2 Super Nintendo cartridges for them.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're coloring them too, like utter pink, and then they do a cow print. But
Oh
they're
my
like,
God.
you can
Wow.
only get those like in the first, like it's like only like 100 of them only.
Wow. I wouldn't even
So
play it
they're
if I got one
they're
of them.
pretty
Yeah,
wild.
that's-
Yeah.
No.
That's the
Pretty
nerd
bad.
section right over here.
Oh, yeah, the nerd section. All right, Kevin.
Over here, maybe half.
It's divided right there.
So you not big video game players, you see?
I liked them as a kid, but I never like even the whole live era. I've never had anything where you played with people online ever.
Yeah.
Like I had an Xbox 360 that I got late in the game, and I barely.
You're more of a
played it.
sports guy.
I like sports.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a bigger sports guy.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit.
fantasy sports.
Yeah, I have a little bit of.
Yeah.
I can relate to a little bit of everything. Like you're like me. Like, well, actually, besides music, what would say you're like?
Oh, cars.
Cars.
Yeah, I'd say.
You're on your own with that
Like
one.
that
I know.
was
I know my cars.
like
are
as far as
seatbelt.
video games.
Yeah.
I was into the racing games and
Okay.
stuff like that. Not
Yeah.
like the Halo and stuff like that. I never
Yeah.
got into that. I was
Yeah.
the realist. I don't know.
Dwayne Johnson ruined his tires the couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, he ran over a rock and popped his tire, and these guys came out like a NASCAR.
Yeah, they were on
came
top
out.
of it. They were on top of it. I
For
mean, like,
5 minutes, he
yeah,
had a new tire.
yeah, I had the Jeep for maybe like a
A
month.
few hours.
Yeah, a few hours.
Hours.
And I park in his driveway. It's like a rocky driveway, and I just like parked, and then I just hear it, like my tire just completely going. I'm like,
I
and
see
it was, yeah, it was a rock that
It was
gave me a flat
We
tire.
kept the rock in the band practice area.
Yeah, we still have the rock.
I don't know how it did that.
And we just put a plug in it and call it a day, or did you get a brand new
We
tire?
put a new
fair.
tire in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the car friends or the valuable ones because I know nothing. Like it's making a weird noise.
I'm
Like,
missing
you know how I fix cars when it makes weird noises?
Take it to the garage.
I turn the volume up and
I
then
did that for a while. We just bought a new, well, not a new, it was a 15 Mazda, and it was making this god awful noise every time you hit a bump in the right rear. And she's like, it's got to be ruined. Like my wife, she's freaking out. It was a rock bouncing around there. So
really.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm
I was like-
afraid.
I was down the garage, or I pull it out and I go, you're not gonna believe what the hell this was.
Yeah,
It's a rock.
yeah. I
Yeah,
am
rocks.
with cars and like my health are like two things I never get checked because I'm like this is gonna cost me way too much money. And it's gonna like set my entire life back because I'm like a typical school county paycheck to paycheck guy. But so like I'd be like, oh crap, I have like this. My car's making a weird noise. I'm not getting checked, even though you should immediately because when it starts making a noise, it'll probably be cheaper. But no, I'll drag this out 4 years and wait till it's completely destroyed.
That's how I am right now. I got my RAV4's rattling in the other right now, and I've been waiting. So it's just like
Like, I'll get it.
one day I'm gonna make a turn. There goes the axle.
Yeah.
Screw.
And then
You
that's
watch,
why-
you watch one of your tires pass. It's like, no, that
There
was a
goes my
problem.
wheel.
Yeah, and that's
It
why
starts
that
turning, doesn't stop.
and that's when I bury it into a
There it is.
wall and let the insurance take care of it.
It's in God's hands now.
I've been
Jesus take
waiting.
the wheel. So
Just take the wheel.
what did you think of Crown of Lies? That was
was
more
good.
of my
Better
speed.
than the
That's like
second.
that's a hoppier.
Yes.
So like this is
I'm gonna
smooth.
say right
This is like
between
the
them.
smooth. This is the boozy. This is the hoppy.
Uzi.
Yeah, that would be my role in it. But all right, so now you guys have been doing this for a little bit now as Bad Maggie. You're taking on some dates. You just got a new sound system, right? You guys
Yes, we
upgraded-
did.
Yeah.
upgraded
After
your
look
sound.
alive there.
Yeah,
after
you're-
this
We were
bad,
like,
we were
shit, we need.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
So I'm not gonna lie. When you guys had I heard you a few times, and then you guys did the Roundhouse show where I had all my coworkers come out.
Yes.
And I remember I heard the show. I went like the first show you guys did with it too. wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and I don't know if I said it. I can't talk to you during the show because you're in the middle and you don't come up. So I talk to you still a lot and you. And I was saying to him, I was like, "Yo, the bass sounds awesome with the new sit. Like you can really hear you now.
Yeah.
Like, and you could showcase a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
And then
I gotta get up on that little.
Yeah, get up on the light bar.
Yeah. I like the one show. I was like, I can't really hear his bass, but I'm sure. Like I'm watching him play, and it looks like it looks like he's doing a great
It looks-
job.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking
like-
about the light box, I got to give a shout out to Scattered Hamlet for
Yeah.
showing us what that was.
Sorry.
We went to see them just kind of on a whim. It was, when was that? About 6-8 months ago.
Yeah, it was a while.
It was a little while ago.
November, December.
But they had one, and it's something that we've never seen like yeah, venues have things like that, but not traveling self-sufficient bands. They
Yeah.
never have.
We're
something
not
like that.
above gimmicks.
No, we're
I'd
not.
love to give it a real.
There's a toaster on stage.
No,
Yeah.
it's a
A
microwave.
microwave.
That's where I get my tasty tone.
It's such a warm, tasty tone.
That's how it
Eventually, that
happens.
thing, I'm gonna smash the. I'm gonna put my amp head in there. We're gonna smash the window out. I'm gonna put like Christmas lights around it. and
So
all
it can
that.
do a
Yeah.
rotisserie.
No, we
light.
really just wanted hot pockets in the middle of the
Well,
show.
I wanted for
It's
Cinco
not
de
a microwave.
for
You
Cinco
can
de
use it.
Mayo. I want to put chimichangas in there. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Like
but-
Boilo in winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be our, yeah, our
Yeah.
shot for, yeah, that'll be
Great
our
idea.
shot.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we're totally stealing.
Definitely.
Winter shows. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so I remember the one show before you guys got the PA system, I was yelling bass solo, and all you would give me was bum.
Done. I'm done. I'm out.
See ya.
But even though you guys are, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I like all types of music. If your original cover the whole nine. I heard you guys have covers. I haven't heard any yet, so that'd be cool. Something to cool see. Hopefully one day. But you're super. All you guys are very talented. You're all amazing musicians. So you're doing covers, but you're doing covers the proper way. Like you're playing it as if it was played by the actual band. Like I mean Eddie Collins gave a shout out to you during the Rage Against the Machine. Like you actually played the solo.
Yeah.
He was like, someone play this solo.
Thanks for playing it right.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's really, really cool to see that. I actually have a dream lineup that I'm trying really, really hard to push through, and we have to talk off camera because something there's maybe change with development. But I would love to see a show. I would put Mahantango as the front line because I feel like I'm going with a certain genre. And Mahantango, and they do originals, so I'd give them the nod at the written front. Then I would follow underneath that with you guys, and then either Japan 4 and Apollo 88.
Yeah.
That'll be a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Show.
Venues, if you want that, that'll sell.
Yeah.
That place will be packed.
Easily.
And then like even if you had like if time permitted, or you had like if you just started earlier, they like an all day summer event,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like no rain checks as the bottom one, like because they're an up and coming younger guys band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
like them.
and
I
they're-
saw 'em, yeah.
we
I
saw
do.
them
When they were at Goodfellas,
Yeah,
like
that was
really
they're
talented.
originals. Like that last one, I was like, it sounded like Judas Priest or
Yeah.
something. It was crazy. I was
Yeah, they're
standing there.
really, and they're a three-piece, like a three-piece.
Yeah.
band, all super talented. Like
Well,
not even 21 yet.
starting off in a young three-piece, I know right what they're going through. And
Oh,
boys, you
God.
got a long road, but it's
Nice.
fun. Trust me.
Yeah,
Have fun with it.
they were
My
super.
God.
They were super grateful playing on that punk rock prom night. Like they had a
Oh,
great.
that was a
They,
good
they
time.
said everyone
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
accepting because they showed up at really. They were told to just bring just their equipment,
Yeah.
and then when they showed up, they're like, "Can we borrow someone's amps and stuff?" Like, and they said everyone was super like, "Oh yeah, no problem, man. We'll hook you up." And like they had a really like that was their introduction to playing at Goodfellas. Like that was their
That's
step up.
That's
Yeah.
another thing that's really changed since we were growing up. I know, and not to be rude to anybody, but when we were growing up, bands were really cutthroat. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Come to our show, screw those guys," kind of thing. Like it was always really,
Yeah.
really tough to get anything done, and people went out, but you almost feel alienated if like you went to somebody's show, then you don't want to go to somebody else's show because you're going to piss your friends off in that band. And it's like, I'm really happy. Things really changed.
It is. That was one thing that when I was working with Rob and we're trying to set up a like Rob is really trying hard from a guy who's not really from this area but now
Oh,
is
God,
in the
yeah.
area
Mhm.
and he really wants to make a music scene and there's a lot of people that's a part of that team and a lot of bands that are a part of that stable and one of the things he said is the same thing you did. He goes, I'm not trying to say the older bands are like that because not all of them are, but it is that's been a trend for a long time in our
Yeah.
area with music
Yeah.
scenes where it's all cutthroat. And he says it's awesome to see these younger bands helping each other and working with each other and saying, hey, we're playing here, but go check out these guys playing here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And no one's upset about it. And then if you guys aren't playing, you go and support another band who's playing somewhere else. It's
Yeah.
fun. Like,
I hate when we're playing and there's other bands playing
I
somewhere
know,
else and we
it's-
can't go
it's
see.
so
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. There's a lot of
There
times
was
it's
there was a
like that.
long like I guess I'm a big Look Alive guy, and
Mhm.
it seemed like every time they were playing, we were playing the same day, same time.
did you
Yeah.
see Look Alive Eyeballs at a Crowbot show? Eddie Collins is wearing a Look Alive.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was cool of Eddie to
That
do
was
that. That's
sweet.
so cool. Shout out to Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And they just did you see the new music video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah, I
gonna
did.
watch it before I
You
came.
know, you know who shot the whole video?
Danger.
Danger,
He did an
yeah.
awesome job.
Like,
dude,
awesome
Mike
job.
Danger just shot
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
video, like a
Yes.
local dude.
On like
like,
Ultimate Guitar.
Shot- shot-
shown.
Nice.
It's like
You know,
so cool.
A local band.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
The support system here is amazing now, and our
It
our
is.
area is so talented. And it's not even just music. There's so much good stuff here that people don't know about, and that's where I'm trying to like showcase it and let people know, like, hey, these are things out here.
Yeah,
like,
get out of your house a little bit. Check some
Yeah.
of this stuff out. Live.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
else to do. around
Definitely
here,
some of the
man.
venues.
Yeah,
Go
really.
Go
First
out
Street,
and see
Leiden.
music
County,
show.
goddamn.
You gotta check us out over at First Street, Leiden.
Yeah.
Any band should be, knocking down.
Yeah,
door.
they're
Yeah.
very-
That's a
that was
phenomenal
That
band
was
to
our
play.
buddy
Yeah.
Ivan
I
in
think
charge of sound there.
Yeah.
He's a rock star.
Absolutely.
behind the
He's-
board.
Yeah, he's like a mad scientist behind the soundboard.
He's
just
fixing problems that
awesome,
nobody even
awesome
knows
sound.
exist.
So they pretty much
Awesome
have-
sound, awesome lighting.
they do the
just-
lighting and the sound for free.
It's an awesome place for bands to
Really?
play. And,
Charge,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
So
done in
You
house.
just show up,
They
they
have their
show
own-
up, start setting you up.
Awesome.
Yeah,
They're
Then
essentially
we go to a $900
They do a
wireless
phenomenal
line.
job.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta up my game a little bit.
They are-
I think I need to go wireless.
they are a bar, but they're converting themselves almost into more of a venue. Like
Yeah.
they have the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
stage,
yeah.
they have
Like,
the
it's an
lights, they
awesome
have the
stage.
everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have a lot of bands like
Hey,
you have
got it.
Mystery City coming through there.
Yeah.
That's another band doing the same kind of stuff that we are. They're doing some older stuff, doing a lot more B-side stuff. They're phenomenal. I don't know if have you ever seen Mystery City?
I have not yet. No.
Check them out.
Yeah, they'll be
kill.
they play like block parties and stuff.
Oh, yeah, they're good
Cool.
block.
Yeah,
band.
awesome,
They're awesome.
like classic rock.
And block parties. You guys got your first block
We
party.
did.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Port Carbon.
yeah. So I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like
He's
I,
great contender.
I feel like cover band, like that's the dream, like to play like a block party.
Oh
Because
yeah.
like in School County, that's like
People
that's a
Yeah,
big
people
deal.
love
in
it.
School
It's,
County,
it's a
like,
big party.
can't wait for the block party.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
always grew up seeing like Pop Tart Monkeys, Rhyme
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
those
love
like
that.
all these big bands who were
Yeah.
like the block party bands. I'm like, I
Yep.
can't wait. And I remember, and then as a young person who couldn't go to venues to go see bands, you're like, I'm 15 years old.
Yeah,
Am I gonna go
that's
see
what
Pop
we
Tart
Yeah,
Monkeys?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what though? Tamaqua is. I noticed coming from Tamaqua and being a
Thank you, sir.
re-enlightened Pottsvillian. I don't know what you guys call
I'm
yourselves.
not a Pottsville guy.
Okay,
I'm from
I consider everything over here Pottsville though.
Yeah.
because I'm from Tamaqua. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what happens.
Everything over there is
That's
Pottsville.
very interesting. We'll get to that in a
But,
second. But go ahead.
Okay.
The other side of 209 is just Pottsville.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Minersville, Pottsville,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
But the way they do their block parties is it's like I came over here and they have a roped off beer garden where you can't leave. And I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, Tamaqua, they're like roam the streets.
Oh,
kinda.
yeah. Yeah, the money wheels here.
Walk home.
Yeah.
Then there's
You're
the
walking home
inflatable
with
kid
your
thing.
beer.
over
Yeah.
there.
Well, Fractal does that too. You can just walk around.
Fractal does too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can buy
that's
your-
a proper.
you
I
just
mean,
put a rest
I was,
band.
you know,
Yeah, that's the proper
Yeah,
way
yeah.
to do it. I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know, from growing
I
up
thought
with
I was
that.
12 years
Stamp.
old, listening to
Stamp
Pop Tart.
or-
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love the
Dude,
block
that's
party
insane.
ideas. I think that, and I hope block parties start making a comeback. 'Cause I remember like every church had a block party. Like block
Yeah.
parties were everywhere, and now they're just they're limited.
Yeah.
They're very limited. But they were great times. Like, and the bands, like they were fun. But so you were saying about you're being from Tamaqua. So for me,
Yeah.
Tamaqua kind of sat like by itself. Like we kind of grouped you with the Tamaqua with the Pottsville people for some reason.
Really?
So I'm a Monty
Yeah.
City kid.
Okay.
So like
That's
even
so
though,
neat how it.
even though we hated Shenandoah,
Yeah.
we knew where they were coming from because everyone deemed us as a piece of shit town as well. So we kind of like we're stepping. Like, if shit gets real, and then as I started getting older, people were like, "Oh, Tamaqua's a shithole, just like our like." So then I'm like, "All right, Tamaqua's they're part of us." Like, and then we all just
Yeah, we were one.
and then
They're all one.
Shenandoah, Monty City, and Tamaqua. Who was your biggest rival in school?
Mary.
Yeah,
Mary.
Mary.
Fuck
We're
Mary,
married.
right?
We're married boys.
so Monty area was like, all right, we're gonna fight Shenandoah, but we're gonna fucking kill Marion. It never
Yeah,
happened.
everyone hated Marion.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you guys
everyone hates us.
because Marion was like the Alabama of School County sports. So you were like, all right, Kevin,
Yeah.
you're really good. You're a good quarterback. If you come to Marion, take a little bit off that tuition. You just sling that ball for God.
We have no comment. We have no comment.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, you're going to a school and you're like, oh my God, we've been playing since we're in since we're in kindergarten, and our team is really good. And then you're just about to hit high school, and like 80 of your players go to Marion, and somehow they're all your best players. And everyone's like, that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, though. Nobody ever complimented me in sports.
Let's go Colts.
So thank you.
Like,
Turn them blue. Turn them blue.
Watching from work, Brett. Shout out to you guys. Love you guys. Love at Tyler. Alexa Sunday, she's watching. She watches everything.
she's like our super fan. She runs our fan.
Awesome.
I turn on Instagram one day and I see you've been followed by Interviews with Everyday People fan page. I was like, I made it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she actually drew the tornado tag. She's like
Nice.
Oh,
like
sweet.
11, 12-year-old.
Oh my God.
Oh,
And she's
wow.
like, she came to us through Andy Header, who's a wrestler. So he's a fan of Andy.
Yeah.
And then Andy started being part of the team. And then she watches all of our podcasts and promotes us and puts us out there. So she kills it. She's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Great shout out to Tamako Pottsville music program. Enjoying the convo. What are your individual backgrounds in music, and how did you come about being musicians? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Start
around,
start
okay.
around. Come on. What's your background in music?
Really, it
Honestly-
started with Tyler. Really, I mean, he started playing guitar. I was like, that looks pretty fun. Like, you're playing guitar, hero, rock band, whatever.
Now,
And like, bass.
being a bass player and growing up as
Yes.
brothers, to me, like player one is the guitar,
That's
and player
Yeah.
two gets stuck with Luigi and the bass. Is that what happened there?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
nah.
I kind of just like,
Like, okay.
I was,
Yeah.
I was like, bass sounds pretty fun. Like, I like that
He
little
would,
background.
he would pick the
noise.
bass on like Guitar Hero on
Yeah,
Rock
like,
Band.
like,
He
I
just
would
liked
wheel
playing the
I was
bass.
stuck with it
on
every
Yeah.
time. If I played my cousin Jimmy.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I didn't understand. Like I was
Done
like,
right.
yeah.
Sounds really good.
So growing
Yeah.
up, if you really like, you're not a music person. You're growing up. You're like, you hear the drums, you hear the singer, and you hear the guitar. And if you have a piano, that's the thing that stands out. There's some songs where the bass is predominant, but it doesn't get as much love as it should. And then like the bass player doesn't get much love unless it's a pretty boy like Fall Out Boy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I love you, Pete.
but as I've grown more appreciative of music, I actually listen for the bass more because if the bass and the drums tuck in
Yeah,
together,
the rhythm section is the most important.
it's awesome.
important part of my-
A good band,
Yeah.
they'll
You're not even a drummer.
blend.
Yeah.
You're not even a real drummer.
I'm not a real drummer.
But I'm sorry that your music background.
No, but really, yeah. I mean, Tyler pretty much taught me a lot about the basics. He was in Primus, Rush.
Yeah.
The bands where like the bass is really there. Like you hear, like you can't miss
Chili Peppers.
Primus.
Or like the
yeah.
bass is like the lead guitar in those
Yeah.
bands. So
Like
like,
Les
Primus.
Claypool's
Like,
an
why
animal.
Oh
He's
my
a
God, yeah.
beast.
Yeah.
So I was like,
He has a
I was like, that's sweet. I want to do
whammy
that.
bar on his bass.
He does.
Like, I never saw that.
Yeah,
He plays
he could
it-
do-
Never
plays
saw
it-
that.
Like
He
it's
plays
a
his own
string
whammy.
whammy.
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
plays
Yeah.
his own shows as Les Claypool. Like, hey,
Yeah.
come see a bass player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
he's
the
like-
Frog Brigade or whatever. they
Yeah,
call it,
yeah.
something like that.
There's so many cool side projects.
And then when he
Yeah.
would be like, "Hey, come see Les Claypool and Buckethead," and then you're like, "There's this crazy."
It's
Yeah.
like two beasts.
Yeah.
They're, yeah, but I mean that's
So what all can you play? It's just bass and guitar,
only bass.
only bass.
Like I pick up a guitar out, I really have no idea what I'm doing. Like,
That's wonderful. Yeah, like, I never saw you like
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
So here's a fun thing. If to look up on the internet, you ever see the bass player from Metallica play guitar?
No.
Oh boy.
Which bass player?
Nice.
So we're talking
Yeah.
to Robert.
Yeah,
Trujillo, yeah.
Trujillo,
He
yeah.
plays it like a bass.
Really?
He'll
What
pluck and
Yeah.
stop it. And he actually helped write a lot of like guitar riffs for James. He's like, "How did you even do?" He's
That's
like, "I just
sweet.
play it as if
Yeah,
I
it's
was
just-
like he
Yeah.
plays a bass like he would play a guitar, and he just
Plucking,
kind of goes
finger
for it."
picking.
Yeah.
Tyler, I'm surprised you didn't know
Whatever
that.
works.
You run the fan club, the Metallica fan club.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Not a Metallica.
It's actually Saint Anger and on.
He runs the Saint Anger.
Yeah. The
Metallica
Saint
fan
Anger
club.
fan club.
Are you
Black
not a
Album.
Metallica fan?
What's that?
Not a Metallica fan?
I like their old
He's more
stuff
of
for
an
sure.
Oasis guy.
Yeah. So here's
Biggest
my-
Oasis fan.
Oasis.
I know, yeah.
every time I like say like, "Hey,
I do love Metallica.
did you ever
though.
try?
That's
You ever try thinking about doing a song or two from this band?" And usually every time I say a band, Tyler goes, "He won't let us do it."
brand new.
Can't do
So
it.
Tyler, your background, how did you get into it? The guitar.
Well, honestly, it was like Guitar Hero,
Yeah.
and like Rock Band. We just played it all the time, and then I really started listening to like like Dimebag Darrell, like he's my absolute favorite guitarist, and that's what made me actually like buy a guitar.
Mhm.
And then I ended up buying like the same guitar that he has, like that cool like DNML.
Mhm.
But yeah, honestly, Guitar Hero was like probably the start
Yeah.
for it. And like I grew up, like our oldest brother Derek would be playing like all these like just so much like cool different
Yeah.
like new metal was like Slipknot,
Yeah.
like
The
Slipknot.
Biscuits.
That's what I grew up with. Like I'm not ashamed of that. Like
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit, not
Korn.
like Korn, System of a
With
Down,
Mace.
but like a lot of
Slipknot
cool
easier
like
to
rock
guitar.
stuff, like The Offspring,
Mhm.
like 182. Like
I'm the same way. I'm very,
Yeah.
I'm very broad in my musical taste. I like
Yeah.
a little bit of everything. Country's a
Yeah.
tough sell for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Country's a tough
agree with
sell.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some of that I could like appreciate, like the guitar works and some guitar
Yeah,
players.
some
Yeah.
country players have
like
re-
that dude,
Yeah,
like Brad
they're-
Paisley's like
Yeah.
an incredible
Yeah,
But the
guitar
thing is,
player. I
is
don't like
some,
his
some
music.
guitar, like some country things, I feel like they don't promenade the guitar enough.
Yeah.
Like you'll hear in the background, you hear this awesome guitar lick, and it's just buried. Like they bury it
Yeah,
instead of
no,
putting it
I
out
agree,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my thing with country is I feel like it's like they all try to sound exactly like each other. And then you have one or two
Yeah.
guys like Zach Brown Band
Yeah.
and Chris Stapleton. You hear them, you're like, they could be in a rock band and it would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right.
I think to break out in that genre, you have to fit a very
It's like
tight.
country
Yeah,
pop. It's
yeah, that's-
weird.
Very,
If you go a
I
hair
agree with
out,
that.
Oh,
they
Yes,
hate you
I
for it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Like, I think
alienated,
country,
and then you
that's
got to go
pop,
be a
but
pop
country,
artist.
it's
I can't
like-
stand
Look
like
at Taylor
pop
Swift.
country though.
Yeah.
Like pop
100%.
country is super.
Only if it's
Uh,
Shania Twain. Is that country? I don't even know.
Chattahoochee by
Yeah.
Alan Jackson. I can get
Yeah,
down
we
with
all
that.
listen to Alan Jackson.
And the only problem is too is like I feel like how you have to stay in that tight window to be country. You have to stay in that tight window with your song like direction too.
Yeah.
Like if you want to talk about something serious or actually get a message out there, and it's not.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not being anti-religion or anything, but it has to be. You got to be a good old Christian boy.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's got to leave you. You got to have. You got to have a couple beers. You have to be with your maybe your dog, and then
Yeah.
your and in your pickup truck.
Pickup truck, boots,
Yeah.
beer, women.
If one country star came out and sang wearing my Adidas,
True.
my Adidas and my Chuck Taylors, and like
Ouch.
get him
Get
out
him.
of here.
Get
We're just gonna shit on
Glass-
country music the rest of the
glass-
podcast. Shit sucks.
Yeah. No, I can.
No, there's some phenomenal
That's
players
what's
out
nice.
Yeah.
well
Every-
talented musicians.
Every now and
out
then I
there,
get
though.
we listen to country. I don't want to say get stuck, but we listen to country for a couple hours at work, and some of it I can appreciate, but most of it just all blends together, and I don't.
Yeah,
I couldn't
like,
tell you
what
what
is
artist.
that?
Most of it's just
But they think
radio
that, like-
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of it.
but they think that about like metal too.
I was
and
gonna say
I
that.
love
Yeah,
metal.
Yeah, heavy metal can
I-
fall in
Yeah,
that
a lot of people
category.
like if they're
Same.
used to
I mean,
country
every
and you hear
genre.
you like
Yeah.
metal, it's like it all sounds the same. But
That's
I
why it's a
love,
genre.
Like that's fun.
That's
Yeah.
why it's a genre.
Like we
Yeah.
could tell the difference because we listen to it all the time.
Yeah,
like
you're
we,
like,
we
oh,
pick
yeah.
out different things, but if you're not used to like listening to that music, it all
Metal's
just
tough for
sounds
me.
the
It is like hard to pick out the
The
difference.
heavy
Yeah.
scream growl.
Yeah, it's, it just all blends together.
same. I love
I'm
it.
I,
nor-
I was
I love
never
it.
a metal guy.
I'm normally
like I
not-
could respect
Love
it. But
Yeah, normally not a fan of the heavier stuff.
yeah.
The band that turned that around for me was Cyanide Sunrise,
Oh yeah, I love them.
and then Faith in
They're
Exile
very
as well
good.
too. Like,
Yeah.
I can put Faith in Exile and Cyanide Sunrise on and be like, and it's not even because they're local and I'm supporting them.
Yeah.
I
No,
legit like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Cyanide used to have what Meatball singing like the actual like a harmonized lyric in there too,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh my god, yeah, it's really good. Another good band coming up that's really heavy, but I enjoy them. I don't really know lyric. Well, I couldn't tell you their lyrics. No idea. The only reason I know like half Cyanide Sunrise lyrics because they would do music videos.
Yeah.
with the lyrics.
Yeah,
Like,
Um,
oh yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, like that, I like that. But I like when they kind of add other stuff. Maybe some purists don't.
Yeah, little clean
Yeah.
vocals in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get to your musical thing. We got to learn a little bit about
Uh,
it. Guitar player turned drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say my musical background. I got into it. My grandfather's a phenomenal musician. Looked up to him for a lot of years, mainly because of him. I got a little bit of interest in the guitar, and I like kind of learned it. I went to some music festivals with him, and I got the basics down, and then kind of put it down for a little while. You know, put it down for a month when I'm a kid, and then one day, advent of the internet, I learned about this awesome band, Led Zeppelin, and I'm listening to these guitar licks, and I'm like, I had like this epiphany. I was like, oh my god.
That just sounds like Greta Van Fleet.
I was like, I went on eBay. I was like, oh my god, I can get a guitar right now for like $100. Like, oh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
awesome. I'm talking to my dad. I'm like, I need your help ordering this. I ordered in this guitar. It was the biggest piece of shit I ever want to own in my life.
I got my first one at Walmart.
Oh my god, this thing was like
First act.
45
Yeah,
pounds.
I have a guitar that I bought when I was going to be a rock star, and I take on too much of a time. But my guitar came from traded all my DVDs in, and I bought one at FYE.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that was a gem.
I still
Oh my
have
There
it.
you go, man.
I
It's
still
not a
have it.
I'm gonna
first
play
act,
it.
is
I wish I still had my
It's not a
first
first
act.
act, is it?
I don't know.
I honestly wish I still had my first act. I'll
It's
just
probably
like, check it
horrible.
out now.
Before you leave, I'll show it to you.
But yeah, I mean, I ordered the guitar in, and I just every day sat and played until I figured it out, and just meeting him who played and other people who played, it kind of culminated into its own entity.
Mhm.
Like there was definitely a clique in our school of guys that played. I mean, you can go through when we were in high school, and everyone knew like, oh, those are the guitar people, those are the musician people. Like
Mhm.
you have your
The
band
mountain
people,
party entertainment.
yeah. You have your band, like school band people, and then you have the mountain party entertainers.
Yeah.
Like there was two different kinds of band, but I mean, that's pretty much my background and how I got into it.
Yeah.
And just networking with those people.
Yeah, it's the big shame too is a lot of schools are doing dress code, and I think
I hated it.
Oh,
Well, you guys dress
Yeah,
code.
we're used to it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe
Like,
maybe
whatever.
the dress code thing is something because I know it changed. I think soon after I left school, but I remember a good way. It's a double-edged sword. You had people who were like, "Oh, you're a scumbag because you're wearing Kmart clothes." That was me. I was the guy who got picked on for wearing Kmart clothes. But I remember I would go and I'd buy like a T-shirt of a band, like my Blink-182 Green Day T-shirt. I remember I actually was able to fit in with another crowd now because
Yeah.
like
You can
Yeah.
express
you
yourself.
know
Yeah.
about Blink-182.
Without saying
I
that.
know about Blink-182. Or like I wear like my South Park shirt or my superhero shirt or my pro wrestling shirt, and somebody else would be like, "Bro, I love that T-shirt."
Yeah.
So for me, because I was always kind of an outcast and I didn't really have somewhere I fit in. That way of it was like I said, double-edged sword, but that way of expressing yourself was like, oh, you could fit in with our group because you like what we like.
It's unfortunate that there's a lot of kids that won't get to
Experience that.
Yeah.
Well, you have this much of the T-shirt coming out of the collared shirt open,
Yeah.
so you can wear something under it.
Yeah.
It's like a guessing game.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, rip off this nice
That
shirt, and
shirt's
you're
like
like,
orange.
oh,
Bro,
What
I
is
know
that?
that much of that image is this.
Yo.
That's a tighter friendship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember never wanting to admit that I was a wrestling fan when I was a kid.
Neither did
That
I.
was like, even like going to like back when you used to go and rent video games and stuff. I would like
Yeah.
wait until nobody's around to grab SmackDown or something.
So people
That's-
always say to me, like, why did you name your pop culture show things that were cool in high school? I say, because there's so many shows out there that are like Nerd Alert, video game geeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, to me, that's what we got fucked with and got called with. So, I mean, I tell people, like, hey, we're kind of like a nerdy show. And I use it because it's like slang that's kind of to let people know what it's about. But for me, like, this generation now, like, if you tell a girl you know every single Batman, Spider-Man villain, you could probably get laid now. Like they'll be like, "Cool, you want to go to the movies? Oh my god, you know so much!" Like now, like for me, like if you knew wrestling, video games, wrestling, and all that other cool, people are like, "Who's queer?
Yeah.
Why you play football?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but meanwhile, they're going home playing video games too. But it was just something that no one was open enough to talk about because it was kind of like taboo.
Yeah.
And this generation doesn't really experience that.
That's what I really hated about that then too, because I'm like big into video games then too, and then
Yeah.
I could really pick your brain. Like if you see some of our shows with things that were not cool in high school, Tony's just like, man, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but he watches like the weirdest anime. I'm judging
besides
him.
that, besides
The
that,
last episode, he's like, I watched this show and there was only 4 rapes in it. I was like, what? It's like I
there
guess
was
Jap-
goblin rape in it.
Yeah.
I'm not, what can I
Like,
say?
it's a-
I'm like,
it's a
I
Japanese-
wasn't expecting this.
So I'm sorry
Damn.
to the Smart family.
I'm very sorry
Surprise.
about
Yeah,
that.
but
Cartoon
like,
rape.
Brought it
that's
up.
like a Japanese thing. Like it's just so sexualized.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I watch Japanese anime. Like this is strange. I'm not watching it.
I never watched it.
this.
I never watched anime.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's really
Unless you
creepy.
come
And then he
from
talks about it, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm the nerd judging the
Yu-Gi-Oh?
nerd.
Yo, is Yu-Gi-Oh anime?
This is.
Sure.
My only anime growing up was Speed Racer. That was it. Yeah. But all right,
Sure.
so we know a little bit about yours. So music family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was about maybe 12 or 13, something like that. and my mom bought me a little electric guitar and an amp, and I just was like, because you know, and I was about. Now I'm left-handed, right?
Yeah, tell them how you play the guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause this is
left-handed.
crazy.
Now,
That's the coolest part.
it's pretty funny because, thanks, Mom. Left-handed for 12, 13 years at that point, and she bought me a right-handed guitar. And she didn't know it, but I literally just went like this.
Without restringing it.
Without restraint. Yeah, Hendrix did that, that's he's just showboat. But flipped it upside down, which to me sounds right. The low E on the bottom and the high E on top. I think it got lost somewhere along the way in history, and that's the way it should be. It's actually pretty cool because
how do most left for people that don't really know what you're talking about here? How do most?
I always ask people, and there's a lot of people that just convert to
They
playing
just
typical
learn how to play
right-handed.
like
Yeah,
Jared.
The lower strings are on
Yeah.
the top.
Are
and
always
the
on the
higher-
top.
So they just
Oh,
they do
wow.
the Hendrix thing.
They go learn a right-handed guitar.
Yeah, they'll learn how to play
So,
right hand.
It's all
So they play right-handed guitar, but they're lefty.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then Hendrix, you said he flipped to the opposite way.
Yeah. So
And
the
inverted the
guitar
strings.
itself is upside
Right.
down, but the
That's what-
strings are
and
the
the
proper
strings.
way.
Yeah.
For a right-handed
So you
guitar.
just flipped
Yeah.
it and then did
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because ours
So it's actually neat because you get different chords, different fingerings for the chords. And like for me, drop D, which is, people that don't know, it's pretty common, drop D. And for me, that's the bottom three strings. So I can bar that. And I could do, it's neat to do like solo and stuff off of that way.
probably is.
Yeah, that is
Probably
fun.
He
is
plays
Yeah.
chords upside down. It's like
Yeah.
the craziest thing.
So
But
no matter-
music-wise, background, I like Grateful Dead, Crosby, Stills, man, the classics.
Huge
stuff
shout
like
out to
that. So,
Hopheads. We met those guys yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I grew up not in a musical. I had maybe like one uncle who was a guitar player, but everybody in my family for the most part was always into music. So I had my cousin Jimmy, he played drums, but he also went to North Schuylkill, who was also another school who was very heavily influenced with the music scene. I had other cousins who would dabble in stuff here and there when it came to music, but it was just something that it was like, if I probably put an amp in my house and try to strum on a guitar for 8 hours, my dad would be like, enough, enough, like go play video games, or go outside. I'm sick of hearing you.
God.
Yeah,
Give it up.
I always tried to sing. I was into the singing thing, but I have a terrible voice. I can't sing to save my life. I can remember lyrics to save. If I can remember
God
lyrics
bless you.
that if I could remember lyrics like I remember all my schoolwork,
Yeah.
I would have been a 4.0 student.
Yeah.
But I'll probably have no vocal talent at all, and it's way too late to learn. I'll go up and sing every now and then, like with the boys upstairs, and it's awful. And I apologize to anyone who ever had to hear it.
No, dude.
But yeah, but I remember I would sit in my room and try to practice and learn how to sing and just read lyrics. Like I didn't know how to properly train myself how to sing. I would just sing pretty much
You're
scream
doing
and
it, yeah.
memorize lyrics.
Yeah.
I wasn't singing. I was just memorizing lyrics and just doing it to and I would try to mimic the person who was. So if I try to sing now,
Yeah.
I'm very I don't have my own style where I just try to sound like who I listen to.
Yeah.
It's a weird. It's like a weird thing to do.
It's
as
more
like
popular, I think, than you think.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. Even
Yeah.
a lot of professional singers will emulate other singers when they're
Mhm.
covering them.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
your
like
credit.
if you put Blink-182 on, I'll try to sound like Mark and Tom all day long.
You have to.
I don't sound like Tony. I
Even
sound like
even
Mark.
when they swap out,
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
That's why it's weird now because
I love Tom.
they both sound like Mark. It's like two Marks singing.
Mhm.
It's very it's
Did
interesting.
you-
Yeah,
I just saw
We need Tom
something-
back.
I just saw
We do.
something that where it said that he is planning on coming back eventually. I didn't look
I
into
don't
the whole
know.
thing, but that
Yeah,
was
well,
I
well, he
hope.
refollowed Mark and Travis on Instagram or Twitter
Yeah,
or something
isn't
like
that
that.
weird?
He's like,
That's
there's
like how
literally
you
like,
do
there's
it.
like
Oh
little
my
hints,
God,
like, please just come back.
send out a tweet or
If,
something.
if,
Do it, damn it.
Then you have
you
angels
were-
in their
if
ways.
you were Blink-182
Yeah.
though, would you take them back?
I would. Do you know how much money? I mean, if they're, I know it's not all
Yeah.
about the money, but you know how that would create like the
It
biggest
would.
buzz.
Maybe
in
like-
Yeah,
music.
it's a lot of
It
buzz.
would.
Maybe like Tom's back.
But I mean,
I
like
want
Tom
it.
has Angels in Airways, and like he's going on tour. He's
Yeah.
probably fine.
I don't like
Like,
Angels and Airways.
They're all right.
So, yeah.
Blink's better than Angels.
I'm not even like
I-
I'm not a huge Blink guy, but they're good. But like I wouldn't go see Blink right now.
I would.
If Tom came
Mhm.
back, I would
Yeah.
definitely go see
I
the
would
first
see
Blink
Blink
I
right
right
agree
now.
with that.
You would
See,
want
I'm
those
not-
50s up in your
So my favorite side projects.
Master.
This is what happens every pod. This is what
Yeah.
the Joe Rogan comes in because we're on a topic. We're still on the topic of learning about everyone's music, but we go on these
We're going
side.
off.
Yeah, like side tangents.
We'll come back.
It's like ADD episodes. Side quests. So, yeah, we go on little side quests. But I liked Boxcar Racer.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that one. I loved Plus 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
But like, if Tom came back, I'm a Blink fan. I'll accept anything they do. but I would be I wouldn't take it with a full grain of salt. Like I'm like, cool, I'll get an album out of it, and then I'll leave again.
It's just not
Would you-
Blink
would you-
without him. Like I don't
would you
like
kick-
if
would you-
if it's 3 people in
I
a band
agree
and one of
with
them leaves, it's like not the same band though. It's
Would
just
you
not.
would you kick out the guy who's playing now, or would you add another member and do it 4 people?
I don't even think you'd have to
Oh,
kick him out. Tom would walk in the room. He'd be like, "Okay, I get it."
Yeah,
Matt Melville entry was really cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting dynamic to see them all together. If he were to come back, I would want him to come back with what's already there.
I've seen like the clips of that dude. What's his name?
Not Skiba.
Yeah,
Trying to play like some of the Blink songs, and it's just not that good.
yeah.
Like
It's-
him trying to
it's-
play What My
yeah.
Age Again and stuff. It's like,
He has a hard time with it.
yeah.
Well, they played Aliens Exist for like the first time in like how many years?
Like that ain't right.
with
without-
Matt
without-
singing. I'm like,
without
that's a Tom
Tom.
song.
That's
Yeah, that's
another
Tom
thing,
song
but
if I
then
ever
his-
heard one.
His vocals are like
But
bad.
they,
I remember watching
they
them
played
do
that, they played that
the.
album in full though, so they, I mean, like they had to play it.
Yeah.
I remember them doing the thing for. Who's it do from Linkin Park?
Chester.
Chester when he died, and like they did a couple songs, and he was singing, and it just was not good.
Yeah.
No.
I
But
would
they're
actually-
now they're like, but it's like the thing. They're like a whole new band with him in the band, so now they're
Yeah.
like in like a whole different direction
Yeah.
with this electronic.
like if
pop
I
stuff.
wanted to see him
Yeah.
live, like here's the thing, I love Blink too, and I'm bummed that Tom left. But if I wanted to go see them live and they played Tom songs without Tom, I'd be like, don't do that. Just do your like that'd be the only
Yeah,
time in
just-
history of like, don't play your hits. I want to hear your new stuff with you guys.
Well, that's what they play. It's
Yeah.
it's all about the brand.
Yeah.
What do you think about the new
Yeah.
song?
I like it.
I listened to about 30 seconds of it and turned it off.
Really.
Yeah.
See, I enjoyed it. But once again, I latched onto the lyrics and I seen where they were coming from with the lyrics. Well, like, don't blame me, it's my generation type thing.
I have trouble when it gets like when they like you like the new Weezer stuff. You know how big we're all like that's like
I
our
only know
connection
like
is
one song
Weezer.
off the new album.
Yeah.
I can't get into it. Like I just can't.
Okay.
Like once they take it in the whole like they just take a U-turn and
Yeah.
change the direction of their sound entirely. I just
Yeah.
can't do it anymore. It's not this. It's no,
Like
Yeah.
Red and Before is like awesome.
that's
I was
that's
listening,
where
I was
I'm
listening
at.
to the cover album.
I do like Red.
Oh, the Teal
I'm not a
album.
fan of the cover album.
I
It
like
all
it.
say it all sounds like the
didn't-
same
Yeah.
songs. It's like it's the, I was
I know
expecting,
everyone
like, chunky,
everyone hated that
power
Africa cover,
chords
but
and
it
stuff.
sounded almost exactly like
Like,
I know,
they
But I
covered
think
the songs
that's
perfectly.
why though. Like
they nailed it.
That is why I
They want it
expect
to
if
be a-
Weezer
they
is
want
doing
it
it,
to
it's
be
gonna
a
be like a
Weezer
Weezer
song, yeah.
song of
yeah, like
that.
a Weezer version.
yeah.
They took more of a
not like
doing justice
They
to
would
the
like,
original.
it takes
kind
like
of
30
Literally-
seconds for you to realize it's even Weezer. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds exactly
Because
the
it's
same.
hot as hell in this room. I'm gonna pour this last
Yeah, let's
one
do it.
and get it out of our system now. So while we're pouring, let's talk about your musical background,
All right.
Mr.
So
Pottsville kid.
I come
Beverly
from
Hills.
Beverly.
So we heard Oasis.
So no,
That's how we-
we'll get into that.
That's how we.
Oasis.
We'll get
that's-
into that.
That's how we perceived
Chapter
Pottsville.
10, Oasis.
Yeah.
Monty City kids.
Have you been through Pottsville lately?
But listen, have you been to Monty City? You guys are Beverly Hills compared to
My
us.
dad used to work in Monmouth City. It was a scary place back then.
I would walk that street at 4 o'clock in the morning with no issues. I can see how some people would be afraid of it, but
So I came from like the classic rock background. Like back, I guess I could credit it mostly to my dad. Like there was always classic rock, like the Who, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, stuff like that. Always played in my house. Neil Young.
oh god,
I grew up
very much.
wanting to be.
oh god.
I grew up wanting to be David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, pretty much. I bought my first guitar. I bought was like a black Yamaha because it looked like his, and that's all I wanted to do. Actually, me and Kev from Look Alive pretty much grew up learning to play guitar together. We were I was best friends with his brother, so me, Kev, George would go up in the attic and we
Kevin's
would just
phenomenal.
he's
Yeah, he might be the best guitar
like
player.
him,
here.
like
He's
that's what I
insane.
mean. Like there was a point where I didn't see him a while, and then I saw him play again. And it's like what? Like this guy's like
Where did that come
incredible.
from?
Can
Yeah,
you go down to the
He's
crossroads,
so
you think?
freaking good.
He must have went
I think-
signed himself over to the devil.
It's like that, and it's effortless too. It's like like it may look like easy up there, but when I'm up there playing guitar, it's a struggle. Like I'm struggling.
We should
work
start
out.
we should
It
start
ain't
that
easy,
rumor
man.
that Kevin was horrible at guitar and he disappeared for 3 years.
He-
and he
He's
went to Shepton and met the devil. he went to Portland. He went to Portland
met
and
the
like,
devil.
like this weird. Let's pick this like weird area. And he went there and he met the devil, and now he's like the best guitarist in Cook County.
He went to Port Carbon.
Microwave.
He went to Port Carbon and met the devil.
He went to Port Carbon.
he was good back then, but it was just a lot of he was doing like just learning covers. It was just we were kind of showing up to his house and saying, "Oh, what'd you learn?" And then he'd play something from AC/DC, and then we played together. And his brother played bass. And speaking of, because you were talking
I
about
wish
when
I
you
was in
would
rooms
flip,
like that.
when you flipped, his brother was left-handed, and speaking of Pink Floyd, I got really into their bass lines and their bass player Roger Waters, and his brother had a left-handed bass. So what I did when I first was trying to learn bass was turn his left-handed bass upside down, well, like that, and played like the strings upside
Played
down as well.
inverted.
Right.
That's
That's yeah. It was weird. Like then eventually I bought my own. But yeah, it was basically classical from my dad. This is my first band. Like I've never
Really?
I've been playing at
Oh,
my
shit.
house for like
How long?
20
That's
or
awesome.
no, not 20.
How old am I?
Yeah.
45
Since I was
years in my
14,
attic.
in my first band when I was 28 or 20, yeah. something
That's
like
awesome.
that.
I did not know this
I
was your
did-
first go
yeah.
at it.
He was ready for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy how well he just like stepped in
Yeah, one.
and like
I always,
There's so much to
We
it.
were like,
I'm not trying to sound
like
like I'm bragging or anything, but like I always had sort of like an ear for music. Like I remember back like that Jurassic Park theme song, like I remember that playing on
it's the
the
first time you learned.
TV. No, really. And like just out of nowhere, like my dad had this little piano for me, like you'd get from Walmart or something like that. And I just kind of was playing around with it. And then I just kind of started playing it. Like it's just like I always kind of I just say like sometimes you're just like bored with it.
Yeah,
It's like either you have it or you don't. People can try as hard as
I
they
can
want.
listen to it all day. I
Yeah.
can't play it.
Yeah, some
So
people
it's
just
like
can't
you're-
do it.
It's awesome. Like I don't know what I would do if I didn't know how to play guitar.
My dad was a DJ, so he played music for block parties and parties for a long time, and then he got out of the game. And then our house burned down, so he lost all of his DJ equipment, which I wish to God he still had, because I wouldn't have had to spend so much on all this podcast equipment. But yeah,
Nice.
so I was always raised around music, and then it was crazy because I was raised with my mom, who was like the Heart, Rod Stewart, Alanis Morissette, Meredith Brooks,
Hilarious more.
like the chick pop, and then my dad's like, here's Zeppelin, here's the Who. And I remember for the longest time I was like, it's not cool to like what your parents like, and I hated all of it. So my dad, he had a magazine. I don't remember if I did it and I wasn't supposed to, we got a bill, or if my dad said I was allowed to. But we used to get these things in the mail, and it would be a sticker sheet, and you put the album that you wanted on the sticker sheet. It's like I forget the name of it. We said it a few times before, but I always forget. And then you mail it out, and then they'll send you the albums, and then you just pay later. So my dad got a bill and was pretty upset. But my first group of albums I bought was AC/DC, Aerosmith. Like they're all stuff my dad liked, but I was into. But I remember the first band that was like my band was Blink-182. Blink-182 and Linkin Park were my two first bands.
You and a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I started listening to more music, and then I was like, man, the Who is really good.
Oh man.
And then I was like, Zeppelin's really good. And then like my first band that my dad got me into that I liked his music, and it's probably my number one band. There's two. It's Aerosmith and AC/DC. They're like my top. Like I love Aerosmith.
Yeah.
And then I really got like I'm a big Van Halen fan, but
Oh god.
I don't like Sammy.
So is Kevin.
Yeah,
No.
don't like Van Halen at all.
No Van Hagar.
Not this,
No,
I like that.
Van,
guy.
okay. David Lee Roth is also Van. Like he's
Yeah.
Van Halen.
David Lee Roth
As
is
much as
Van
I
Halen.
can.
Yes, he is Van Halen.
Did you
And-
speaking of which, did you catch his interview
He is
on
the showman.
Rogan?
No.
He had one recently.
Was it good?
He's a little out there.
He's out there.
So
But like Sammy like sings the songs like so well and everything, but it's like you want David Lee Roth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
it's
mean.
like-
If
I
you like,
wanna see
especially if
this
it's
one.
if it's one of
I'd rather
the,
hear
I'm
Sammy Hagar
assuming
on his own.
I'm assuming he wrote most of the songs, right?
Who?
David Lee Roth.
I would assume so. Yeah.
So like you take him out, and it's like
But in my opinion,
is
like
it the same? They,
Eddie Van Halen is probably my favorite guitar. I think he's the greatest guitar player of all time.
He's
Yeah,
up there.
that's.
I think Eddie.
You know who's a really good guitar player, but you don't realize how talented he is because he plays like soft, chicky songs.
John Mayer.
John Mayer.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Like if you put him in a band, he would dominate.
Yeah.
his
Well, he
band.
plays with the Dead.
Yeah, he
Oh, he
plays.
plays with the
He's
Dead?
playing
Yeah.
Dead and Company, right?
I did not know that.
He came a long way too. Like he really changed his sound, like
Yeah.
his signature
Steve
sound.
Fulton
Like,
showed
but
me a
he's still-
commercial he did for a car company.
Yeah.
And it was just him standing in front of the car finger picking. And you were like, I don't remember. It was like an old commercial. He's like, "You ever hear John?" And he showed me another really talented guitar player that a lot of people don't know, and this could be helping out people. Another thing. You ever seen Post Malone play guitar?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's
Yeah.
super. He's
Oh,
super
yeah.
talented.
He's like the coolest guy ever.
and
Yeah,
he's also
he's
he
a
started
badass.
like his inspiration to become a hi Heidi. His inspiration to become a guitar player was Rock Band as well. He played video
Yeah.
games, and
Yeah.
the Rock Band made him want to learn. But yeah, that's really insane. So this beer that you brought, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. It's a 6.5 New England style from Bonesaw, New Jersey.
Yeah.
This beer is no longer in production. So if you check this in on tap,
How the hell did you do that?
This is like solution.
I guess.
This is
Thank
like
you, George
I go to that
Jackson,
one,
for bringing
man.
that up.
where'd you get this at?
My buddy brought some up. It's a brewing company right by him, right there. It's fairly new.
Yeah, this is
And they got some. They have like.
What was the name of
22
this
on
again?
Tap, like they're rock and
Impending
roll.
Storms. So you
Impending
get
Storm.
actually credit for a beer that's no longer in production.
And it came
That's
out.
my
Look
second
at
one.
that.
That was
It
pretty.
came
Wow,
out
very
September
impressive.
4th of 2018.
I had to bring some.
So this is pretty old too.
That's
That
actually
aged really well.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
was gonna bring Labatt.
I was gonna bring you
That's
Labatt.
like I feel like
Labatt.
Labatt and Molson are like
Oh,
our-
Molson Canadian.
It's like that's like our band's
Molson.
beer.
Yeah, the band
Drinking
beer
Molson
right
Canadian.
there.
That
Yeah.
was my next
Canadian
question.
Molson.
What would be your band's beer? That's it.
Molson.
Labatt.
Probably,
I would
yeah,
say
no,
that.
probably Molson. Yeah, Molson and Labatt.
Oh, yeah.
Boys upstairs is Keystone.
Is it? Oh,
Keystone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
They used to have.
Come on,
used to
guys.
have-
Pos-
It's a
yeah,
cheap beer.
more from
They
Pos-
used to have a
it's
band.
like
Well, that's because it was the cheapest beer usually everywhere you go.
Yeah, that's a good.
So their banner used to say the Boys Upstairs, not so proudly or sponsored by Keystone.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
That aged really well for
Stuff.
being
Maggie brought
since
you by
2018. 2018.
One day we'll be.
Yeah, we're gonna get
September,
sponsored by
September
Monster
4th.
Energy.
We do that too a lot. So we'll get beers and we'll kind of
Store
we'll
one.
store
Set one.
Yeah. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And but if they're older and we'll say like we'll put in our like, hey, this is an older beer. Just give you a heads up.
Yeah.
But that had looked nice. That's tasty.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
I really like that. Thank you for bringing that along.
Oh yeah.
And that's a Jersey beer. That was our lowest alcohol
Nerdy
content.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 point something was the lowest alcohol content.
Yeah, that was the lowest one. Let's see what else we got here. Columbia House was the one where you put your sticker on the thing and mail it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Columbia
Yeah.
House. Thank you so much, Amy. And what was the stickers with the albums that you were? Oh, that's what we're talking about. All right, so yeah, she's talking
Okay.
about the Columbia. That's what it was, Columbia House. I remember I bought one of my albums I picked too was Orgy. Blew my
Oh my
Oh,
god, yeah.
yeah.
See, that's what our brother Derek was
Yeah.
like showed us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Yep. And then one of my other first bands that I remember my cousin listening to, my cousin Brian, I remember just sitting down because we were never allowed to go up in the attic and hang out with him because he hated us because we were younger. We were at that age. But I remember just sitting downstairs and listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I was just like, man, that sounds so cool. He's so cool. And then we went up,
Yeah.
we would like sneak up to his attic and he had like the band posters everywhere and he had like the Janet Jackson with the guy holding her boobs. I'm like, oh, this guy's the coolest guy ever. Like, every room he ever lived in, because they moved a few times, like his room was like, because he was like the older cousin. I
Yeah,
was like,
put his own spin on it. It's like the coolest guy ever. I
yeah.
don't know.
I was like, this room's fucking awesome. He has the coolest stuff. Like, yeah, he had a water bed in the attic. I like
Water beds.
yeah, I was like, this guy, I love it. Like, he got me in a lot of different bands. Like, my cousin Jimmy, he was the one who I wouldn't know anything about Primus if it wasn't for my cousin Jimmy. So it's cool how music you can meet someone and they can put you in a different direction
Mhm.
Yeah.
and steer. Now, what are some of the future projects, endeavors, or things you guys want to do as a band?
I vote originals.
Yeah, we've been.
Yeah, we've been
We're
noodling.
They're there. I mean, we've been
Yeah.
recorded before with
That
the
excites
previous
me.
lineup,
That excites me.
and that was. I mean, it's respectable, but it's nothing crazy.
Now, would you
Yeah,
guys
and you're-
make a full switch, go all original, or would you do like cover?
no,
cover
I would
No.
definitely feed a couple here and there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so. I went to see Apollo 88,
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
and
yeah.
they'll do a lot of covers,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "Hey, this is," and they're like,
Just
Hey, this is the original. See you later.
sprinkle one in here and
and
there.
they'll play it. And most people, honestly, because of the style of music they play, and that's what they like,
Seamless.
it fits
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
what
The
they're
coolest
playing.
thing was like people were like singing like the lyrics too, like to the originals. It was
Yeah,
awesome to
people-
see.
yeah,
Like
They're like,
I'm like,
it's like a cult following.
I love
Yeah.
it.
And the cool thing about your band like you guys have a fan page. If you want to join Bad Maggie fan, it's fans of Bad Maggie. It's
Oh,
on,
yeah.
it's on
Yeah.
Facebook.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a lot more videos and stuff of us. out
Yeah,
there.
that's
Yeah.
why. So I have the IWEP family
Yeah.
that covers all 4 shows, which
Right.
was doing amazing, by the way. Like you guys kind of inspired me to make that page. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Sweet.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I made the page, and I kind of everyone has their own. It has its own like page, and then that's
Yeah.
like, hey, if you guys are part, and I made it private, so you have to like now it's
Yeah.
a private thing.
Mhm.
But I will put stuff in that page that no one else gets to see for like a day or two.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's-
do you want to hear an interview before somebody else?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like we just booked this guest. You guys are gonna know about it first.
Yeah.
So I kind of use that as like,
Yeah.
you're my fan base. I feel you have a big enough fan base that if you went to the original route, you would have the Apollo 88 feeling where people would come and sing your originals with you. Because I feel like
Yeah.
you guys have a very loyal fan base for you.
Do they have
guys.
stuff recorded?
I don't know. I don't know.
They killed her.
I actually have that.
I know, because I mean, like
They're
people are
really-
singing like these songs and everything, and it's like
Yeah, I wanna
it's like
know
we
the
want to hear it
whole
too.
song. I wanna
Like,
know
we want to
it.
know. We want
Yeah.
to know like the lyrics.
They,
Like
We want
like
to know
sing-
it, guys.
sing
Yeah.
along and stuff.
That they're actually, I have them booked. They're gonna be on the show soon.
Sweet.
So I'm
Cool.
really excited
They're
for that.
fun.
Sweet.
Yeah. What are some this is what we do, the support section. So who are some of your bands in your area? Obviously you're wearing your look alive. We talked about that a lot. Who
We love
who
that.
are some of your bands that you're that caught your attention or you would love to play a show with that maybe you haven't yet?
Currently
There's some-
performing bands. Yeah.
Oh, you can do one of each.
Japan 4,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan. You have
Japan
to
Four, I feel like
Japan
that
Four?
we, yeah, because like we're like covers, we do like covers and everything. This is like it would be like a fun night.
We gotta get the front band first though.
Yeah, are they? Who's playing?
We got to tell Eddie to
I
bring
think-
Crowbar
I
back
actually
to
think-
town. Let's do a show with them.
I think
Yeah,
right,
Liam from
yeah,
Montagne
I
there.
think right now,
Like on
yeah,
the 25th?
Yeah.
yeah, the guy from Montagne was gonna fill in as front man. Yeah. I had a brain fart. From Montagne, let's get a front man for Japan 4.
Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yes.
Yeah,
I-
you went to Lancaster.
I kept. No. Eddie's not
Yeah.
the front man anymore because he's doing that. The guy from Montagne that's filling in.
Liam.
Oh,
Liam.
Yeah, Liam. Yeah,
I
yeah.
kept thinking
Liam.
Austin, but I was like, Austin's leaving. But I
Yeah,
couldn't.
he's like,
So you guys would like to play with
Sorry.
Japan 4? They have high energy, man.
Yeah.
No.
High.
Yeah.
I love their set list. It's just like what you listen to growing
would-
up, and it's
yeah.
like everyone just sings along and has
Yeah.
a great time.
It would blend really well with ours, like if we
It
did like
would,
a
yeah.
split show or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, they're
I
like more like
think-
alternative, like emo, like kind of stuff. We do like the, I guess
Pop-punk.
like Simple Plan,
Like,
like
Yeah.
yeah, the
Pop-punk,
boy.
yeah.
yeah,
Pop-punk.
stuff more like pop
Yeah.
punk. And they do
Generic,
pop punk too.
generic pop punk.
Generic,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
like neck deep.
Yeah, that was they're awesome. One of my favorite moments. I wasn't a Trippin' Billy crowd guy. That just wasn't. I just didn't really go in there that much, and I'm kind of bummed I didn't because the people of Trippin' Billy really made that place
Yeah,
what it was.
I'm gonna miss that for sure.
You know
Just
what I
like
mean?
coming to
And
see
I'm
the
really
bands.
bummed that I didn't jump on the train until it was too late.
Yeah.
Because
That's how I feel,
regardless,
Regular.
Yeah.
because regardless of what you may think of the location or the place or ownership or whatever it was that steered you away from there, maybe it was the people. I can't see how because it was so welcoming. It was a melting pot of just so many different people. But Japan's last show there, I remember just staying in front of the stage, acting like a psychopath, and you looked around. It was like, I think my final count was 8. There was 8 different people that were representing their local band to
Yeah.
be there to support Japan
Yeah.
4's last show
Yeah.
there. And at the very end, everyone just went up and sang
Brand new.
quiet things. They played quiet things, and it was literally everybody. Like it was like
Yeah.
Apollo 88, Bad Maggie, Matango.
That's me
like,
singing Dylan.
there was the what's his name from Torrent was up there. Danger was up there.
So, yeah.
There was little Brett was up there. I booked little Brett too. Eddie Collins' cousin.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Is it Billy?
Billy. Yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Billy.
Hi Billy.
It was so many cool. Like it was just an awesome experience, and it just like the staff was upset, and they were like, it was like it
Yeah.
was a good sense.
yeah, it was
bittersweet.
such a that was such a good
but
moment.
Just the moment of everyone up there just enjoying each other's company and supporting that one band, even, and there was like that many bands there to do it. It was just a cool experience.
And that really sends the point home that we talked about earlier, how bands are no longer like cutthroat like they were.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool thing to see because you can go to any show and see other bandmates there, and it's just really a cool experience.
Yeah. So you were saying before you'd like to do a show if Crowbot played in the area.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, Eddie. Bring him down. Let's do this. Do some
We
good
need our,
fellas
yeah,
out
we need
there.
our
Wait-
originals.
wait
We'll have
in
our
line
originals
for
ready
that
for
one.
that.
Yeah, we gotta rip out these
We'll get
originals
an
quick.
original ready.
Yeah.
Robot on his back.
Would you ever dare try to do a Crowbot cover?
So-
That would be sweet.
I'm not, as,
it would be
I'm not as good as
cool.
Bishop.
Yeah.
It's like if it's a
Dude.
local band, like even
But I feel
Look
like
Alive one time.
I just wouldn't do it.
John said,
Yeah.
John said, I can't wait till you guys do like a Look Alive cover up there. I said, there's no way we would take one of your songs, go up there and fuck it up.
Yeah. Yo,
Like, I'm not
let's do it.
gonna do it. There's too much respect for the other bands
In
to go
other
up there
words,
and
we
mess
will be
them up.
doing
Or
that.
something.
But I think if Bishop walked in and heard one of his bands being covered, he'd be like, "That's fucking cool."
Yeah.
But
That would be
I could be
sweet,
wrong.
yeah.
I hope Bishop doesn't. But but the Lancaster show was fun. We had a really good time seeing them play there. I actually found some bands that I didn't know who all the damn things were.
Oh,
I knew.
I love.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Everyone
They have a
Every
knows
really
single,
good sound.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool seeing like that super group. And,
Yeah,
like,
and we were like an arm's reach away, and we were like
I'm
heckling.
like-
We were heckling Bishop. I was like,
yeah,
I
he was like throwing picks up at.
yeah, it was like weird. Like if you watch, like we were like, it was fun. Eddie was like, you were yelling EC3 at Eddie.
Yeah, we were like two swinging him like on the other side.
Yeah.
How about that bass he has now too?
Yeah.
The purple one.
Bass.
Yeah.
Dude, I love
Yeah,
Reverend.
Rev bass.
Shout out to Reverend guitar.
He
'Cause they're
stole
the
my
coolest.
he stole my dream guitar right out from under me.
That's true.
That
He wanted a
guitar was
Reverend and,
made
like,
for me.
Yeah.
I got my Reverend, and he just like picks it up at every practice. He's like, this neck.
He's like, this
The
is
neck
made
is
for me.
I spent this one dude was shout out the Yin Yang Music. I go up there to look at guitars and stuff and equipment, and I spend the whole time pretty much just walking around the store, going like
Stroking
this to the
necks.
next,
Stroking necks.
walking around. He calls me a guitaraphile or something like
Yeah,
that. I just
guitaraphile.
go,
Yeah, he wants to.
dude, stop stroking the necks on my guitar. But the net, like I just picked up his guitar and played, and it like plays itself. Like it's
Yeah.
perfect. The neck
I absolutely
fits
love
my
Reverend.
hand.
It's
And
like
when you
Awesome
have little-
action, awesome
when you're a
everything.
guitar player, you have little
Ooh.
baby hands like I do. It's like the neck is really important. It's always a
Yeah.
struggle.
It's like finding a bowling ball that fits your
Especially on
fingers.
That's
bass.
true. Yeah.
on bass.
Bass, I would never. Be
Yeah,
able to
it's-
do that. I need
Yeah,
to.
there's-
I would
there's
need to
some-
take a.
Wow.
Yeah, very long
Like-
fingers.
I would
Yeah.
need to bring
Yeah.
a chiropractor.
Like P
with me.
basses or like a freaking
On stage, like,
little slugger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just having that thing hang on your
that
neck all
PJ
show.
bass, like I'll do. Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice.
I
Nice.
love that.
So yeah, originals are on. Oh, I'm sorry. What band would you like to play with?
I'm down with Crowbot. I've yet to hear them live. I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but
Really?
I'm dying to hear them. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
hear them live. I
They're
watch
so
the
cool.
videos all the time.
Their
you know,
new, their
I
new,
love
their
that
new
sound.
album is going to be unbelievable.
Well,
The energy is there.
Can't
Like,
wait.
it's-
Oh yeah.
Who would you like to
Definitely.
play with?
So we went to see Montungo at their album release party at.
Yeah.
That one bar.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Whatever it
I was
is.
too.
Was it
Oh,
like
the
a
Andex
VFW?
in Pottsville.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yes,
Andex
yes,
in
yes,
Pottsville.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And they played with this one band E57. which,
Yeah, they
uh,
were cool.
when I listened to them there, I was like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. But then I downloaded their stuff on Spotify and like legit, like there's a lot of times where I'm listening to that on the way to work and just
Yeah.
jamming out. And they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Montango has been my go-to play on like driving to work. If I'm not listening to a podcast, I usually on Spotify I have like a 90s 2000 punk pop set list, which is pretty much everything that you guys play.
Yeah.
And then which is why I love the band so much. But Ard's Montango, I just love that album. Like it brings like
Yeah, they're
you could like to me, I'm a big lyric guy. Like if you can catch me with some lyrics, and it doesn't have to be like even Crowbot lyrics. I like Crowbot lyrics because they're kind of like funky and there's like little
Yeah.
supernatural. Like these are Crowbot beers to me. Like the blood of flies. Like like it reminds like because I remember like high school, like you meet your first girl and you go through that, and like I related a lot. Like when I heard those songs, I was like that was a definite breakup song. Like we went through some stuff in those
Yeah.
songs. Like and then having them on there and actually really hearing about like some of the songs were written by different band members and then translated by the singer. And I was like, well, do you ever feel translating someone else's lyrics, you put yourself in that? So it was a cool experience to really learn a lot about that. But yeah, so originals are on the way.
Absolutely.
Are you going to stick with the punk pop style, or is there a style of the band that you're looking to reinvent?
It's
There's a
going
lot
to be a
of
melting
Just
pot.
Really?
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Influence,
happens.
So it would be
Yeah,
like
he
a
like classic
melting
rock,
pot.
we're like pop
Yeah,
punk metal.
We've been busy trying to just always get new songs down. And, you know, I mean, if we can get a practice together, you know, during the week, which is always tough. Everybody always does.
So you would have like maybe a classic rock style song.
Yeah,
A
he
dead-
has a lot of hippie background. He has a lot of classic rock
a dead
background.
style,
I'm
punk
metal.
pop style.
Yeah, I'm pop
I'm
punk.
melody
Punk
guy. I
rock.
like
I'm
the
into it.
music. Yeah, I could say the exact opposite of you with lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, lyric guy. I'm all music.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I sing now. But like, you give me a guitar and just let me rip. You know,
If you do originals, would you guys consider about doing a 3-piece, like adding another guitar to the mix? Like you know how like
if it would
sometimes
it would be just me picking it up. Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler would.
like or like just every now and then like
Yeah.
flip around, do a quick solo, flip back
Yeah.
around, and go back to singing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That
Yeah.
would actually be cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Add
it
a
would
third
be.
guitar
Yeah.
instead.
Good idea.
I always had like a sound.
Look at that. Look at
Yeah,
that.
just
Get
think
you
about
get
that.
you.
Like,
That's
he's
that's
trying
why
to get
we're
in the
here.
band.
A singer that goes up and just
I'll
You
play
ready to
I'll
join?
play the triangle.
Should I
Just strumming,
join?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play the triangle. Let's go.
Do you know how to play the microwave?
I'll make the hot pockets during the show. Yeah, and I'll feed them to you guys while yours.
Yeah, next show we're
I'm
gonna keep it
ready.
active. Just come
White
up and make
Castles.
something.
I'm really good at
Yo, those White
pouring
Castle
beer
burgers.
into someone's mouth
Yeah.
while they're playing an instrument. I'm a beast at it. Like I've so many years of practice with Fulton where he just like a
I'm
shot
not
and he's just playing. Like, it won't spill. I'm really good. I'm a great roadie. I'm an awesome roadie. Like if something falls down or unplugs,
You're right
I
there.
got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Plugging it back in.
Yeah, I did like I hung out for like a year and a half, 2 years with the boys upstairs, and that's really what got me. Like that was a big thing for me. Like honestly, this podcast, it's something that's been in my head for a long time. It's something I wanted to do, but I got to meet a lot of really cool people and get involved in a scene and meeting different groups. So I owe a lot to that band. That's why when I say what I wanted to do this and I wanted to have bands on, they had to be the first band.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're like my best friends, like family, like that's my brothers,
Yeah.
and they're good people. I love them to death.
Awesome musicians.
Yeah.
Just like
Super.
they're awesome
and
dudes.
Steve
Yeah,
just
they are.
wrote an original,
Really.
and Steve and Tom. I don't know if you ever heard Tom Salega's original called Maker's Mark.
No.
It's so
Never
good.
had
It's a
that.
really good original. It's like an acoustic original, but they're actually going to be on PA Live, and they're going to play.
Oh, nice.
They're going to play on PA Live. So Fulton's got some originals up his sleeve. You just start
Nice.
busting them out.
I'm excited. to
That's
hear that.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of PA Live, that reminds me of Cody Wiley. We got to give him a shout out, man.
Cody
Yeah.
Wiley.
Yeah,
Can't wait
Cody
to
was
see him
cool.
at some of our future shows. He just opened for us down at in First Street in Lehigh.
He's booked too
Yeah,
on the
he's
show.
phenomenal.
Cody Wiley will be
Phenomenal
there. He's
musician,
everyday
man.
people.
Oh man.
He's so good.
I have
Yeah.
so many people lined up, like so many. I'm so excited. I got Thunder Park. I'm just trying off the top of my head. I got Thunder Park. I got Light Up the Moon. I got
Okay.
Gas Station Disco, who's looking for a front man. So if you're a singer and you're looking to be part of a band,
Dylan.
check them out.
What about
You have to sing
Apollo
brand new.
88?
Apollo 88.
Yeah.
We did talk about
A
Apollo
brand new
88.
tribute band.
I got Churches and Trains.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I see. I just saw you responded to the barn thing he has going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Jimmy
always
Mango?
say interested. I may not go, but here's a trick with Facebook. I'll say interested to anything you send me to because when I click interested, other people
I
see it.
tell that to people
Yeah.
all the time. I say
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
just say
click
interested.
interested
Yeah,
so other
true.
people
That's-
see you interested.
That's
you don't
one
need to
thing
be
that-
there, just yeah.
Yeah,
Even if you're
spread
not
the
going,
word.
I don't care.
That's
Spread
one
the
thing
word.
that I've learned, and people ask, "Well, how did you hit such a high number of Facebook likes so quick on Facebook?" And I said, "Because every time I make a post at Bad Maggie, at this person, at the person I'm interviewing, and then because people are lazy on the internet." So if someone on the internet says, "Well, I want to add the page," listen, I'm gonna hyperlink it. All you have to do is click it, and then when you're on the page, all you hit
Yeah.
just
It's really
hit
two
the
clicks.
like you don't realize like and a lot of people get mad. Why do you always invite me to stuff? Because I'll just every now and then I'll just pick a page. I'll go to my thing. I'll hit invite all,
Yeah.
send. You have to do it. Trick is you have to do it 4 times because Facebook only allows you to send so many at a shot
Mhm.
and so many per day. So you have to do it a couple times. But I did it with you guys. I did
Yeah.
it with Look Alive.
That
Where
was
I
a
just go on
huge-
there
Yeah, we
and
were
I'll
like,
send.
shit.
And I'll just flood a page with people. And the people who support me and like me and know that I'm not doing it to flood them. I'm doing it because I want to get attention out there.
Mhm.
They go to it, and I average about 250 to 300 people that will do that for me,
Yeah.
which is cool. So that's why I said that it's social media. It's not a big deal. If someone sends you something, just give it a like because when you like it, somebody else can see that you
Mhm.
liked it,
Yeah.
and then they'd be like, "Oh man, maybe that's something I'm interested in," or "Hey, what am I doing this weekend?" So
Yeah.
it's that's
Cool
social-
way of finding new stuff out.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I try to use social media in the proper way. Like you'll rarely see me on there saying, "I can't stand it. This is in the news right now." I don't care less. But I'll put all day long. Hey, you want to do something this Saturday? Go check out these guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I first found Japan 4 out.
yeah,
It was like an ad,
Yeah.
like it came across like a sponsor or like some ad for like an event. And like I decided like I'm going to go check them out.
And we went. I was like,
Yeah,
what the hell did
yeah,
they
we
play?
were-
You're like alternative. And then they just
Yeah, I
kept
didn't know.
playing,
I didn't really know what they played, but the first time I saw them, there was like some like original bands too, and then it was so cool because they just like took the stage. Like I didn't know any of the members or anything. They just took the stage, and the guitar player just started playing like the opening to like Your So Last Summer by Taking Back Sunday, and like the whole
Yeah,
band
oh,
comes in. I'm like,
shit.
holy shit! Like this
Yeah.
is fun.
And they're
There's no
jumping
way.
around. Cycling.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone's just singing like these words, and you don't
Yeah.
hear people play that.
I've
kind
gotten
of-
almost hit in the
No.
face a couple times with the guitar or bass because they'll fucking swing
Or
around.
Yeah.
Chris, I swear, like
He hit someone
He
in the
comes
face.
so
at the
close
last-
to it.
Yeah, he hit
like
someone in the
seriously,
face
and
at the
that thing
Triple
that'll
Show.
mess you up if you get hit with that headstock.
Yeah.
Hey, but
They
you
hurt.
know,
People losing teeth.
That's part- that's part-
swings that thing.
that's part of the experience. If you're up
Yeah.
there, you're getting.
Yeah, he almost got somebody right in the
He
crowd.
did at the last
Did he?
Trippin' show.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
And he just like looked at him and was like, I'm sorry. I think I like kissed him on the
I
forehead.
busted
Like,
your
I'm
lip
sorry.
once with the microphone.
Swinging it.
No, he went for
Oh, yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, because I didn't have a microphone in front of me for Ohio's for Lovers.
I just went whoop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I leaned in at the same time. He put it up to my mouth, so it just like connected, and I'm like bleeding, like
You
just
should've
singing
rubbed it all
like
over
these.
your
Like, it was
face.
bad. It was bad.
That's rock
I
and
shit
roll.
my front
Yeah, it was
teeth
actually pretty
right
badass.
now. I have a little burr on my tooth.
Really?
I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
Jimmy left a damn crime scene.
Yeah.
God bless
Oh
him.
my god, that was
Sorry,
Cut your
Roundhouse.
head.
Yeah.
It was-
Roundhouse.
His whole
Sorry.
snare
The
drum was just covered.
roundhouse.
That's how
Yeah.
Fulton, not Fulton, Cantwell cuts his hands, and like the one day I was counting his drums into an event, and it was playing in a restaurant. We were in a restaurant. I don't want to say the restaurant's name, but I mean I would down for this story.
Yeah.
But I'm carrying Dave's drums in to set them up, and it was a restaurant, but at a certain time it was no longer a restaurant. It was going to be a bar. And I was like, hey, I know you guys are eating here, but I'm just going to set the drums right behind you, so when you guys clear, you can set up right away. And I'm bringing the drums in. I'm putting it behind this family eating, and I'm looking at the heads of the drums.
They're
and
all covered in blood.
covered in blood. Right? So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my god, right? And they see it, and I'm like,
I should move
Like,
these.
what do you say
so
about
I go
that?
to the bar. I'm like, "There's something like Lysol wipes or anything like that." They're like, "Yeah, here, no problem." And I cleaned all of his drum heads off. I'm like, "I'm really sorry about that." I cleaned them all off, and they're like, "Thank you so much." And Dave comes in and goes, "Who fucking cleaned my drums?" And I was like, "They're trying to eat, and your
Your bloody drums are
Yeah,
laying all
your,
over the
your
place.
period drums are all over the place." But yeah, that was.
No, I feel Dave's pain there.
Yeah,
It's like a
don't-
bad
I don't even.
bottom,
I don't
I
even
bled
wanna
on that, I
touch
want it there.
Jimmy's
Yeah.
drums.
yeah.
Yeah.
I say something about it every show that we're setting up. Talking his drum heads, dude.
Covered in blood.
Yeah.
Get
And
those away from me.
And that actually happened at a wrestling show last night. So they were doing like they came out of the ring and they were kind of wrestling out of the ring, and the one wrestler was thrown into a door, and as he got thrown in the door, his elbow went through a glass window, and when he pulled
wow.
it back out, it
Yeah.
cut him real bad. And at first he didn't realize how bad he was bleeding, so he just kept the match going, and he was leaking out of his arm. It was all over every other wrestler, it was all over the ring, all
Oh
over
my
everywhere.
God.
Wow.
And he had it all over his arm thing, and his tape came in off his arm, and he unraveled his tape and just threw it and hit this little kid in the face.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And
man.
the dad was not happy, but the whole time, little kid's going, ah.
Didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they had like in between, like after that was over, they had to come out and clean all the blood up everywhere, and then he literally took it off his arm and like rubbed it down his face. And then even after the show was over, he got it taken care of, but he left the blood on his face because he thought it was awesome because he's a wrestler. But like it was just like people were like freaked out.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
So much
Whatever.
fun. But all right, cool. That'll pretty much do it. I just want to go around our thing. I didn't even speak English there. I would like to go around one time and see if you guys had anything you want to plug or any people you want to plug or anything like that.
I just want to plug all the up and coming kids that haven't been recognized yet. I hope that they're watching this and get some inspiration to do it themselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know we could have used a little bit of a
Yeah.
push when we started getting going, but
Start a band.
yeah, start a band.
Actually,
Do
don't
it.
be
Here's
afraid to
here's
do
a,
it,
here's a
man.
quick question we'll put in before we wrap up. To those kids that are maybe starting out, are like how we were talking about no rain checks in the beginning. You're at that point. What is your advice to those bands? Because you guys have been in a few different bands. What would your advice be to them? What would they have to do? My biggest thing, and I've never been in a band, but just in anything in it, don't sit back and wait for something to come
Yeah.
to you. Go
And
for it.
Yeah.
definitely.
Don't give
Contact
it up.
other
Yeah, just
bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Talk to
Don't-
other bands.
yeah.
That's the
And
biggest thing.
network.
Network.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
So
networking and
networking.
just
So
and keep practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give it
Brett,
up.
Brett from Montana Look Alive was saying, I was like, man, I wish like the Rollers did more underage band nights and they don't do
Yeah.
it anymore. And he goes,
Yeah.
it's not that they don't do it.
There's not underage bands
Yeah,
looking to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
If you went, he goes, no, they weren't doing it when I was doing it. I would go to Roller Roost and say, I want my band to play here, and I set up the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go out and
A
do it,
venue
like,
is not going to come to you and say, hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Hey,
have
random
you.
We
person.
did it in Tamako.
yeah.
We did underage
Uh,
shows when we were kids.
Sometimes,
Yeah, and I saw
sometimes
you
get
guys.
to us.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just got to ask.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Like-
Get some videos, send them their way, show them like you're all about it.
Yeah.
and you're legit.
Yeah, learn what a press kit is, put one together.
Yep. And then,
Good to
like
go.
I said, or come on my show and we'll talk about it, and that'll get
Yeah,
you.
There you go. There you go.
Go on interviews, go on Bangin Beers.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah,
Not the
dude,
underage, not the
If you're
underage.
Banging
underage,
fruit punch.
maybe not interviews with everyday people, or we'll have like banging juices or something.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be.
Bangin Huggies.
Oh,
there was
man.
Huggies at the
Yeah, that's
Chameleon
my
Club.
favorite. That's my favorite
They,
thing.
they, had, they were selling at the Chameleon Club Huggies.
Dude, that's
Obviously,
awesome.
Really?
Obviously,
Yeah, that was the coolest
they put
thing.
a shot in it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, a Huggy Bomb.
Yeah.
I was there like a year ago.
I never. I was like, can I just have a Huggy? Like,
You just straight up blue.
Just
Yeah,
like-
good
yeah.
blue Huggies.
here's what everyone does. You bite it and drink it. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the best of it. If you pumped it with your
That's
thumb, I was
sweet.
like, what a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
They're like aluminum right to the teeth. Bang. But
Perfect.
so yeah, any other plugs out there you guys want to put out there, or for have people to go check out, or venues that you guys like to play at?
I mean, we've been lucky enough to have a lot of really good opening bands.
Mm.
There's so many things that we can give and people that we can say, definitely go see a Montongo being
Yeah,
one of them. Look Alive, absolutely.
Yeah, support the original music scene around here too.
Yeah,
for sure.
don't forget about them.
They have it. Like they
A
have
little-
it. Rough.
It's so
They have
good
it
too.
rough.
The cover.
They have
Like
it
if
very
the
rough.
people, if the fans don't know the music, it's
They don't
really
get it,
hard to
yeah.
get over.
Yeah.
Using a wrestling term there.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Like sometimes, like when we get a group of people together, like, hey, we're gonna go see a band. Like I took a few people to go see the bands at Goodfellas, and they had a blast for the covers. And then when the original came on, they're like, I can't sing along. I was like, yeah, but that's not. It's a different experience at that point. You're there to be like,
Yeah.
holy crap,
To learn
they,
about
That's how you were with
They-
the covers at first.
they,
You didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
they,
They were.
created what they're about to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The songs you're singing came from that.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
group of people.
Absolutely.
The songs that you
They
sing, you
didn't-
didn't know
nobody
at one
knew them to
time.
begin them.
Yeah,
So,
you weren't,
yeah,
you
just
weren't
sing
an
anger.
unknown boy.
And honestly, it's you just go on Spotify, look up
Related
Alive, look up
artists and all
Montongo,
them and all
look up
that, yeah.
like
Yeah,
if
I
they're
know
easy on
I know I
Spotify.
bring them up a lot with
It's
the bands,
there.
and I apologize. I do, but I don't because I'm proud of them. But like I say Crowbot a lot. Like people are like, oh, now they're big. They don't come back to the area. They don't play here. And I say, well, when they're up and coming and they were playing for shows for
Like,
$3,
where were you at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
where were you then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, don't
Exactly.
just because the train caught on and they're at the point now where there's more to it. Like they can't just be like, I want to play here because
Yeah,
They
they
have to-
got to talk to
they
their.
got to go through people. Now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
there's a process.
There's a
but-
lot.
Yeah.
But the thing is like they're very grateful that the people who did support them and helped them get to where they were. Like they got big. I don't know if you're aware of this. They got big because someone went to their show, videotaped their performance, and sent it to a record label. And the record label was like, "That's really cool." And then contacted them and said, "Hey, do you guys want to come up and do a tryout?"
Yeah.
That's what happened with them. Like someone who supported the band, someone who supported local music,
Yeah, helped them blow up.
Yeah.
put their stuff out there. Like that can happen to anyone in this area. You know what I mean? Like that's where it comes from. Like that's like they know 100% that they wouldn't be the traveling tour opening up for all the damn things and Clutch and Volby and all these amazing bands if that local support wasn't there. And it's not like they don't want to come back and not play because they hate the area,
Yeah.
but on the same
No.
token, you have Crowbot, you have the next up and coming wave of Crowbot coming up right now.
Yeah.
Go support it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's there.
So I said that I thought Look Alive got a lot of good exposure at that Faith in Exile.
100%.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like I thought everybody seemed like they were into it.
Mhm.
It was awesome.
Yeah, they did a great job. And like that's a high energy band too, man. They're dancing
Oh,
around,
God,
they're
yeah.
jumping. I am Brett on bass is a
Yeah.
psychopath.
Yeah, even if you
I
don't know
love
the music,
you,
you,
Brett.
yeah, I love you, Brett. But even if you don't know the music, or like the lyrics, you can still like
Just a
like
good
move
time.
to it.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah,
like the
dance.
music is awesome. You can like
It's-
headbang to
yeah,
it. and,
music,
like,
That's
so
definitely
music to
headbop
music.
music.
yeah.
Anything you want to close with there, Bang and Ben?
Bang
Yeah.
and
It's been a long weekend, right?
Those nitrous and beers are setting in.
Well, thank you so much, Tony. And the beers are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Highly recommend all.
Super long
Yeah.
weekend. We had
Didn't know
3
what I
Bang and
didn't
beers
like.
in a row. As you can see, my
Yeah, I love
Ben's.
Yeah.
It's been a boozy
Too much,
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone's looking for the, I know you'll see this. So the way it's edited or the way it's on the Facebook, it's episode 14 was Banging Beers with Bitches. That was their name, not mine. I was gonna rename it Ladies Night, and they're like, no, it's called Bangin' Beers with
Wait.
Bitches. So that was them. And then
Crazy bitches.
so then it goes like
Shout out to Johnny.
episode 13, and then episode 15 is you guys, and like where's 14? 14 has a lot of hours of editing I have to go through, and that's going to be the Brewfest episode.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking forward to it. That's gonna be a good one.
it was challenging because there's a lot of background noise, there's bands, there's music.
Oh, yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it was a long day, so we had to go through a lot of stuff and get that all straightened out. But I want to thank you guys once again for doing it. Anytime you guys want to come back on or you have anything going on, the door's always open. Like I said, one of the first, besides the boys, you guys were one of the first people, like, as complete strangers. We didn't know each other.
Yeah.
You guys supported us. We supported you. Like, you know, buying our merch, and we're helping each other out. I sold a whole bunch of merch of your one.
Yeah, shout out to Tony.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
We should have brought an employee of the month plaque for it.
Yeah, I
Just
forgot.
hang one up and put one in front of the microwave.
There you go.
It could be
Employee of the
just a
month.
piece of paper printed out. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, June
Oh,
1st,
yeah.
we're at Cressona.
Yeah.
Denny's.
Yeah.
Now you're plugging our shows.
Rock.
Yeah, we forgot to plug it on.
Yeah,
show.
I also go to our shows too.
Yeah, try to come to our
Come
try to
see
come to our
us if you
shows.
want.
Yeah. In the description is their Facebook page, so just hit the description button. It'll take you right to their Facebook page. Hit that like, search
Smash
fans.
that like button.
Yeah.
Smash that.
Smash
MF.
that like.
Yeah. You guys have a
Keep the
YouTube page or
like
anything yet?
sequel.
No, not as of
Well,
yet.
you made one to comment, but there's nothing on it.
No.
Nah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
YouTube.
just to comment on the wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
So there is content coming to the YouTube page.
Yes, yes.
But there's nothing there yet. But and then also go check out Fans of Bad Maggie for that exclusive
Oh, yeah.
content. All
Absolutely.
right. Thank
All
you,
the
gentlemen,
videos
so
are there.
much. Love you
Thanks,
guys to
buddy.
death.
Thank you, Tony.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we
Cheers.
didn't give so much beers. That was a lot for 5 people.
Yeah.
Check out. There's our guy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you name him yet?
As you put it right in my face.
Did you have you named him yet?
No,
No.
we need a name. So we need like people like comment
Yeah.
like what should
What should we name our
What
midget
should we
blow
name
up doll?
that?
We need your help,
We're
people.
thinking like a Richard or like Peter or something like this.
Yeah, something along
He
those
looks,
lines.
to me, he looks like a mixture of Bill Goldberg and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He does.
I think he looks more like the Big Show, like with the goatee.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I did-
He's
I
the-
did
he's the
see
little
that.
show.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
It's like wow.
I like the little show. That's a pretty good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time I seen him, he had a lot more pubes, so he cleaned up.
Yeah.
Especially,
And he,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
has on his muscles, he has cool tattoos.
yeah,
Yeah,
banging
he
beers
does.
and interviews.
Yeah, very
That's
cool.
some new
But thank you guys so much. Come
Absolutely.
see some shows. Everyone that was in the comments, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
One of them. So normally there's like maybe 2 or 3 people that watch now, and then people go back and watch later.
Mhm.
There's like consistent 5-7 people the entire time. So that's just really good. So if you're here and you're brand new and you've never subscribed, please hit that subscribe
Yeah,
button. Help us
subscribe.
out.
Go on YouTube, subscrib to interviews, subscribe
Yeah.
to Banging Beers.
Well, it's all
Yes.
under one
Do
monitor.
them all.
So just
if you're watching
subscribe.
now, hit subscribe for me, please.
Yes.
Because
Do
we're,
it.
we're at the point now where if we have so YouTube to pay people for putting content on their page, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of people watching your content.
Wow.
Watching hours, we're destroying that.
Yeah.
But we're like 300 subscribers. We're around that, like 250, 300. So if we get up
Yeah.
to like the 1,000 mark, and it's free for you to hit subscribe, you're not
Yeah.
paying for anything.
Yeah.
But like YouTube starts paying me, and they'll be like, quick throw a Burger King ad in a thing, and I'll get money for that. So help me out
Yeah.
and hit that subscribe
It'll-
button.
Yeah.
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 That'll help.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and thank you guys once again. Love you to death. We'll see you soon. Go see some shows and have a good time. Support your local music.
Support local music.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.